Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the WardiTV Monday. WardiTV Monday number 65, your weekly dose of WardiTV action. I'm, of course, your side VIP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the Puma Chats, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. I know that we're nearing the end of the year. Christmas is right around the corner as well, but you know what? That doesn't stop the StarCraft. That does non-stop StarCraft happy. Aye. We still have all of our weeklies, of course. Pegasus Cup, WardiTV Monday, as alongside Sparkling Tuna Cup and other events as well. It's still going to be quite a busy era, a busy time for us here on the CranKy Ducklings. Bam! As you can see with our schedule, we do have some days off, kind of. As you can see here, we should be having Tuesday and Wednesday off. So tomorrow we won't have a broadcast. Day after we won't have a broadcast either. At least that is the current plan. So we should be taking Christmas Eve off. Christmas Day we should be live with Pegasus Cup. So Pegasus Cup we're still going to be covering. That is going to be over on Thursday, and on Friday we were notified a little bit late, but we do have another cast also scheduled for Friday as well. That'll be Boxing Day. So Christmas Day and Boxing Day, we should still be covering some StarCraft. Currently it's empty. You can see that Friday is empty, but we should be covering some StarCraft and some show match specifically. A show match should be taking place on the 26th. Meanwhile, on the 27th, we do have a StarCraft Evolution League at number 17 replay cast and Sparkling Tuna Cup, of course, on Sunday. So despite the holidays here, we should only have 2 days off this week to spend time with our families, to take a bit of a break, of course, but the StarCraft doesn't end. No, we just keep on going. And honestly, I said it before, technically, if I really wanted to, I could cast every day. Like if I wanted to, we got replays, we got some other things to schedule. If we wanted to, we could move some things around and actually cast every day, but we did want to take some time off coming into the end of the year sort of time, so did decide to take it a little bit easier here towards the end of 2025 coming into 2026. So again, we do have still a pretty jam-packed schedule for you, so hope you enjoy yourselves, hope you have a great end of year. And first things first, welcome to the WardiTV Monday. And now, as a reminder, this event is an event that we used to cover live until October. What happened in October? Daylight savings hit Europa. Daylight savings did hit Europe, and as a result of that, now the WardiTV Mondays start very, very late, to the point where it ends at around 3-4 a.m. in the morning, and it would be nice to get some sleep at some point. So unfortunately, we aren't able to cover this event live anymore, but we can cover it via replays. Speaking of, that is why we're here live with you with said replay casts. So again, this event did occur a week ago. I should say the WardiTV Monday at number 65 was a week ago, and we're here to catch up on those replays, to catch up on those matches. First, we have a best of 3 between Clem and Creator, a round of 16 match. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, as I didn't realize, but that may be a bit of an issue here. Hopefully it doesn't impact oh god, hopefully it doesn't impact the broadcast too much and too heavily, but these replays did occur last week, and you know what that means. That was on a previous version of the game. Again, there was a patch last week that did actually impact us in our ability to cover the Tuna Cup. If you remember, Sparkling Tuna Cup was natively impacted by this, just because we did have to kind of change the game. We had to update the game switching regions, and we just weren't able to do that. So that is something that may impact this broadcast a little bit, but here we go. Going to be loading into game 1, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Let's go. Here we go, as we are jumping into our fresh series, our first game of the series, game 1. Let's go. This morning in top left-hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Creator. Sorry, it is Clem. No, gotta look in, baby, gotta look in. This morning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss. It is Creator. Here we go. Some big names already facing off early on in the tournament here in the round of 16. Clem, of course, coming in as the heavy favorite. He's coming in as the best Terran player in the world, and we'll see if Creator can keep up and catch up. Now, to be fair, Creator, he has been improving quite heavily over the past couple of weeks. It's been really cool to see the improvements and the progression of Creator coming into the new patch and coming into the new map pool. But again, a heavy hitter stands before him, so we'll see if Creator can hold his own and how he does compare and how he does stand his ground against against Clem. Let's go. Double gas. Double gas opening here out of Clem, going for a more tech-heavy start, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. Now, this more aggressive build does make a little sense here because welcome one and all to Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock has a very exposed third. Has an exposed third expansion here, has an exposed natural expansion as well. Shorter rush distance by ground, and aggression is favored on this map, so we expect aggression from both sides. We'll see how many gateways do we go, 2 gate, 3 gate, or 4 gates blink from Creator. Likewise, we'll see if Clem goes for an earlier timing as well. We have seen these early 2-on-1s, skipping stim and going for more heavy marine kind of early game aggression. We'll see if we see something similar to that here as well. Now, so far so good. We have our initial openers. Quack in the chat, papi, quack. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Ay. Says that factory. Checking the vision here, Creator, he did spot the factory timing, so he's aware. He's aware this was a double gas opener. He doesn't lose the probe. The probe does get away. So far, so good. Oh, hello. I saw the rally here. Clem, meanwhile, he does send out his SCV. Remember, this was a double gas opener, faster factory, faster starport, and it looks like the plan is to go for the starport as a proxy. This will be a prime location for the starport to go for a medevac, to go for a proxy drop into the main base. There we go. CC on the high ground. SCV is in position. Reaper does distract here at the natural, and there it is, starport. Now, this could be one of two things, either proxy liberator or proxy medevac. Based on the positioning here and based on the fact that we should be going for reactor Hellion, it should be a Hellion drop into the main base. Again, the alternative to this would be a Hellion harass into the natural and then the liberator prime to just dive straight into the main, but it should otherwise be a medevac. That is the more common choice here. Again, starport is almost done. As it stands, Creator, he's unaware. He's unaware. He is lacking vision, lacking map awareness. Behind this, going into blink. So far, only 1 gateway. We should be seeing extra gateways momentarily here, but we'll see if Creator's in position to defend. So far, there it is. Second gateway's on the way. Medevac is coming. It is going to be the Hellion drop into the main base. Remember, how many Hellions does it take to one-shot a probe? 3. 3 Hellions will one-shot a worker. And as they do splash damage, if the workers line up, then they can very quickly do crippling damage. Oh boy. And here we go. 4 Hellions move out. The medevac just now pops. Just now is ready. There's that natural base being taken. And again, this isn't meant to kill, but it can. This can do game-ending damage. So far, we have a shield battery. We have our 3 units, 2 adepts on the stalker here at the natural. The main base is exposed. And here we go. The medevac does boost in. He is now spotted. And how quickly does Creator react? Pulls away. Does pull away. Probes are lining up. And ooh, so far, so good. It does body blocks. I mean, it's still going to be 4. It's going to be 5, 6 probe kills. Hellions, they drop into the natural. All the workers, they evacuate the natural base. 0 economy, 0 mining. A couple of workers left behind. Oh no! Oh my god, getting into 7. Yeah, 7 probe kills, and we're still not done. Getting another 2 probes towards the end, getting up to 11. Oh, getting up to 10. Yeah, 10 workers go down, and only losing 1 Hellion as well. Very efficient trade here for Clem. Unloads the Hellions, going back in. The medevac does distract, and meanwhile, at the natural, there's only 1 stalker, and we're going to get another volley off. Oof. Another volley goes off, another probe. Another 2. And again, 12 probe kills for only 2 Hellions. And remember, this was not all in. Behind this, we're just transitioning. We're getting into our tank production. Extra axes being thrown down as well. 3-1-1 setup. We already have 2 tanks. Stim is on the way, and this is going to be a very strong stim timing. Clem takes a lead. Clem takes a massive lead here from the early game. Just crippling the economy. At this point in the game, this should already be a third. This should already be a third base, but Creator, he cannot afford it. We're still going back in. Oh my god. 2 Hellions taking 2 shots. Gets 1 volley off. Gets another 2 more probes. Ay. 14 probe kills in total. And remember, Clem, these Hellions, they don't scale well into a longer game. He wanted to get rid of them, and he trades as efficiently as possible. Yeah. And with that, Creator, he's in a very rough position here. The pressure is on Creator to do something drastic to recover. Either cut some corners and be hyper greedy and pray you can get away with it, or double down and go for an all-in. It's usually one extreme or the other. Trying to play standard and trying to play catch-up, it is incredibly difficult to get away with that as you're relying on your opponent to make mistakes. Or like we finished, say, quack. Beautiful, beautiful. So we go to Stalkers, they move out. They will threaten the natural. But again, we already have our tanks in position. 3 tanks already sieged up. But again, we're building up the bio. And by the time Stim finishes, Clem should just move out. He should just push here on 2 bases with Stim. And that can potentially end the game. Now, there are going to be opportunities here for Creator to maybe backstab and force back the army and force an early siege, force an early stim, maybe even pick off a tank early on as well. There's potential to find some damage, but the problem here is it's only 4 Stalkers. Like, there's no reinforcing pylon, or there's no War Prism back at home. We're still trying to tech up, working towards Colossus production, still yet to saturate the base. Clem is still ahead economically, by the way. He's still up on workers on 2 bases. And here comes the move out. Stim is not done. Stim is ready. So far, killing 2 Marines. Do we pull the boys? Not quite. Doesn't pull the boys, gets a 3rd TC. But again, this move out here is going to hit like a truck. And Creator is going to try to slow it down. Okay, he's got a couple of force fields, true. There's a scan. Force fields are threatening. Tanks already sieging up. Colossus has arrived. Ooh. What's going on? Catching the Zealots. Clem wedging himself in. Ooh, massive tank shots to the Stalkers. Yeah, very nice splash damage. Yeah, tanks, they just punish the army. Doesn't focus on the Colossus. But nice damage nonetheless on the Immortal. Yeah, the Immortal goes down. Colossus is exposed. And these are just brutal losses here for Creator, losing almost every single Stalker. Now the Colossus is exposed. He's going for it. What about he gets it? Colossus goes down. And with that, Clem crushes the main army. 2 Stalkers survive. And now here comes the next wave. Here come the reinforcements. There's still a tank left over. Clem is going to regroup and push again. And even though Creator survived, his losses were heavy. Some heavy losses here for Creator. Clem is pushing forward. Charge is now done. Charge will help. As everyone does just bully back the ground army. Jesus. Yeah, and here come the reinforcements. And once again, they can just dive on the Colossus. Focus on the pylon. Vikings, they just go to town. The boys are being pulled. The Creator getting desperate. But again, this entire game, he's been desperate. And he just cannot hold his own. Not against this bio army. We stim and we win. GG gets called. And Clem takes game number 1. GG. And GG, well played. Clem, he will take a lead in the series. Again, a Creator, he, alas, unfortunately had a very rough start to the game. Early on, if you remember, Creator, he did go for a relatively standard opener. He was going 2-gate blink, but alas, he did miss the proxy. He did miss that there was any semblance of a proxy, didn't scout the main base, didn't realize that the starport was missing, didn't realize that anything was going on, really, and he lost 14 probes. 14 probes at the start of the game. That is essentially a mineral line. That is just under a mineral line worth of workers. To lose that many workers that early on, I mean, what can you do? As you mentioned, the only real chances there for Creator were to either go for an all-in or be hyper greedy, one of the extremes. In the end, he tried to play standard. I mean, I say that he was trying to rush into Colossus. True. He was trying to rush into Colossi to have some kind of army to work with, but again, he just had too much of a deficit, and the map does favor aggression, as we mentioned, so Clem could just move out. GG. GG, well played. With that, Clem does take a lead in the series, and now we are going to be loading into game number 2. Yeah, loading into that second game. Going to be loading into Tourmaline. Oh my god, speaking of aggressive maps, Jesus. The aggression continues as spawning in the right-hand corner of Tourmaline. We have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran leading the series 1-0. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss. It is Creator. There we go. Again, it is so difficult to recover from early game damage. This is applicable to both the Terran and the Protoss in TVP, but early game momentum is very difficult to recover from. As we mentioned, that Hellion harass, that Hellion damage was game ending. And sure, there are some niche opportunities to try to bounce back in that kind of game state, but again, it is very, very difficult to achieve. And we'll see if Creator can tighten up his early game defense. We'll see if we have another plan in store for us. Hello, as Creator does move out after scouting the 3rd location. So Creator just checking for proxies. Clem back at home is settling into what looks to be a standard opener. Remember last game it was double gas into a faster factory, into a proxy starport. This time single gas, which means we have a faster CC, faster command center, a more economic start at a Clem this time. So Clem, he does mix things up. As we're mixing things up, once again, welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is the most aggressive map in the map pool. Hyper aggression is favorite here. The natural is open, the 3rd base is open, the 4th base is open, the 5th base every base is open. Every base is more exposed, short rush distance by ground. So we're expecting aggression here in the mid game at least. Clem does open up economically, but this doesn't mean that he's going to be playing passive. Not at all. Does go for more economic start. Creator, he sees the timing of the CC, so now Creator knows that there's no crazy Hellion drop coming his way, right? It's not going to be the same build, because this time the factory is later, the factory is delayed, and the starport is delayed. So Creator, he knows that the priority here is the economy in the early game. So Creator, he is safe, and he can respond with greed of his own. Now the problem here is what we just mentioned. The 3rd base is quite exposed. Trying to be greedy on Tourmaline feels very risky for the Protoss, side of things. So we'll see how Creator approaches this. But at least he knows he's safe. Accounts opener. Like, for example, we could see 2 gate blink into a 3rd. I think that would make sense, but again, I'm not too fond of the idea of cutting gateways here on Tourmaline. Meanwhile, Tech Lab into add-on swap. Oh, do you see what I see? That is a 2nd Rax. So a 2nd Rax, what does that mean? That means that we are heavily delaying the starport. The starport is heavily delayed here, and that means that we're going to be rushing into the upgrades, rushing into stim, rushing into bio production, rushing into armory production, and going into a delayed medevac production, into delayed drop play, which means if we see a 3rd Rax, our eyes are on this SCV. If we go for a 3rd Rax, this screams 2 base all in. Yep, there it is, 3rd Rax, 2 base all in. So as we mentioned, this is a heavy delay with fast stim, fast combat shields, fast bio production into a later starport, into a later medevac, into a later push, but one that does hit quite hard with early stim. So early stim. Now the downside of this build, as you can see here, no tanks, right? Like, we do delay any kind of factory-based tank production because you're going for the add-on swap into faster stim, right? You need the tech lab on the racks so stim can be prioritized. So that is one weakness here of this, is that the factory production is going to be delayed. You're mainly going to be using this for add-ons for the starport. And again, early on, Creator is safe, but this does hit a very strong later timing with stim. Meanwhile, Creator back at home, he's going for what exactly? We have 1 gateway and a robo here at the natural, safety shield battery as well. Back in the main base, we have 2 more gates, so 3 gate blink, very safe play out of Creator, and you could argue overly safe. Creator is playing blind. He doesn't know what's going on. Yes, he's up against a 2 base all-in, or he's up against hyper aggression on 2 bases, but this hits later. What does that mean? That means that Creator could be greedier earlier on to get away with early greed to try to get that edge over his opponent. Regardless, this is going to hit hard. Creator is still playing blind. You can see he's getting ready for, say, Banshee Harass, Widowmine drops. Like, he's getting ready for standard play. He doesn't know that something unstandard is coming his way instead. I mean, I say unstandard, like, this is the kind of thing that you expect to see on Tourmaline. We did mention that this is the most aggressive map of the map pool, and aggression is favored here. And again, this is hyper aggressive on 2 bases. There's the add-on swap into double medevac, and when the medevacs arrive, this is going to hit like a truck. Oh boy, it's going to hit around 5:30. Creator is he's moving out to meet Clem. He goes for a delayed 3rd base, so delayed 3rd at a Creator. This will not help in the defense, as it is late. Stalker's going to be moving in. Now, if Creator stims into Clem, Creator will lose a massive chunk of Stalkers because of stim. Stim will punish him. Creator, he's going for it. He blinks it. No! Yeah, blinks into the main. Does focus on the Cyclone. There's Stim. Yeah, Stim is revealed. The Cyclone goes down, but he's going to lose 1, 2, 3 Stalkers. Yeah, Stalker's getting picked off. He gets punished, and Creator has to get the hell out of here. Has to get the hell out of here. That's 4 Stalkers going down already. Massive loss for Creator. He rotates. The army is ready. There's a stim. Yeah, he stims. He gets 1. Can he get 2? Barely can. 2 more Stalker kills. Ay. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, there aren't that many Stalkers to begin with here. Creator, he could try to go for the backstab. Good try. Yeah, he's going for it. Rallied into the main. Blink is down, cooldown. Clem is expanding. At the same time, he's moving out to apply pressure, catching another Stalker. The problem with the Prism moving in here is that we have to wait for the warping to complete. Prism threatens. He's trying to fake out. Yeah, he's trying to fake out Clem. Clem is still moving forward. Charge is not done. These are slow lots, and he's going for the Stalkers. He gets 1. Yeah, 1, almost 2 Stalkers go down. Widow Mines ain't zoned away. Massive connections. The Zealous, they just melt. And we gotta pull the boys. And instantly 12 probe kills. Insane damage. The Immortal gets started down. No shield battery. Not within range. And this is critical damage. And yes, Clem doesn't kill, but he killed 12 workers. He got the Immortal. He killed how many Stalkers? 9 Stalkers went down. Delays charge. Depowers gateways. And these are losses that Clem can afford. He can afford this. He trades insanely efficiently, and now here comes the main army. Here comes the main rally. Ooh. That gets started down. Immortal gets caught. Massive pickup. Oof. Catching out the Immortal. A nice snipe of the Viking, but again, Clem at this point, he's just rallying everything across the map. He knows that he is so close to breaking Creator. He's close. Nice snipe of the Observer. You see Clem trying to bait the army back into the Widow Mines. Oh my god, the retargeting. Nice retargeting out of Clem. It does force a bit of friendly fire. Just kill a couple Marines with that Widow Mine shot. And Creator, he's hanging on. He's down. He's still down in workers, down in economy. Creator is still in a very rough position. At this point, Creator, he would already want a 4th base. He would already want a 4th base up. And a stronger probe counts. We see Creator's trying to work towards Colossus. We have the Bay on the way. I'm still rallying, still zoning. Nice another run by. Okay, Clem out of position. Should get a couple of SCVs. There we go, getting 1, 2, 3, 4 SCV kills. Not bad. 4th base has been scouted. Clem turns everything around. And this does buy time, but unfortunately, like, Clem still has a very comfortable advantage here. Like, he's still up in army, up in economy. Up in every which way that does matter at the moment. So we do see the Creator, he's working towards a Colossus, and this Colossus can help swing the fight in his favor, but he still needs time for the first Colossi. And Clem is not giving him that time. When he rotates in between the bases, Creator tries to go for a counterattack or even tries to catch the drop. Creator out of position, there's a massive cancellation on the 4th base. Here comes Clem. Colossus has arrived. So the Colossus does help, but there's just a sea of Marines and a sea of Marauders. There's so much man with gun, baby. Yeah, 12 probe kills in total. Clem will be the first to max out. Clem splits up his army. So one force threatening the fourth base, meanwhile the other threatening the natural. Breaks in, pulls away. Here comes Clem. Rover's exposed. See Creator trying to react. I mean, he has built up a semblance of an army, but the reality is that Clem still has an overwhelming force. And now he's backing off, securing his fourth base. Clem, he's going to be the first to max. He's almost there. Tech-wise, the Ghost Academy's on the way. Vacuum production has begun. Now, for Creator, there are some ways to recover here. He's going to have to... Ideally, there's a couple of ways. One is to be able to backstab and go for a Zealot run by. If he's able to, while Clem is about to push, go for a Zealot run by, Zealot counterattack, a War Prism drop into the main base, harass in some way, and deal some critical damage, like there is going to be a chance there for Creator, while he keeps Clem's main army busy. Outside of that, there are some power spike units like Disruptors, like Storm, that can help even if you're down in supply. But in a head-on fight like this, it's looking nigh on impossible, man. Here we go. Them collapsing in. That's a lot of Marauders. Jesus. It's a lot of Marauders, Pappy. Might just going off. Marauders there built a tank. Kiting back against the Zealots. Nice force fields. But down goes the first Colossus. He gets one. He gets two. Yeah, two Colossus go down. There's one Colossus left. One Colossus remaining. You can see Clem supply barely changes. Again, he's got a tanky army, Pappy. The lasers, they do nothing. Oof. And the final Colossus goes down. GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the quarterfinals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Clem will claim the series. Again, Creator had a very rough early game once again, winding it back. If you remember, Creator, he scouted the economic start, he scouted the faster CC, but Creator did not scout the follow-up. Remember, it was a racks into factory into second and third racks before starport. A heavy, aggressive 2-base build, borderline 2-base all-in. I'm going for an early stim timing, and Creator had no idea. He didn't scout. There was no hallucination scout. There was no observer heading into the main base. There was just very limited vision there for Creator. And if you remember, he was blindly going for 3-gate aggression, delaying his third base in favor of the Warp Prism, in favor of his Stalker Warpins. And if you remember, he didn't really get any damage. He blinked into the main base and he lost 4 Stalkers. He lost 4 Stalkers almost instantly, and that was almost game done in there. The problem with losing that many Stalkers that quickly is that, one, your Stalker count is very finite early on, but ideally you're able to retain your Stalker count and threaten the backstab. And what that does is you don't necessarily find damage, but you can threaten and you can contain Clem. Clem suddenly doesn't go for a drop play, because if he were to go for one, he knows that there's a mass amount of Stalkers waiting to backstab if he does move out. So that threat of a counterattack, that threat of a backstab into the main base is enough to deter the Terran, to contain them even, and to slow down their eventual move out, and to give the Protoss player time to build up their third base, to build up their own production, their own tech, and to get into the mid game. Unfortunately, because the Creator blinked into the main, he lost his Stalkers, he lost his army, he lost any kind of semblance of map control, and he just gave it up. He just gave up all that map control. Clem was free to just push, and push he did. GG, well played. Whew. With that, Clem, he will take the series, and we're going to be heading over to the quarterfinals. Now, we will not be following Clem. We don't have the matchup that he did go into. Instead, we're going to be hopping over to another match in the quarterfinals, one that I'm very excited about, with a returning player. Let's go, baby, let's go. Up next is going to be a TVZ between ByuN and Laser. Again, Laser, he is a player that has been around for many years, of course, has been very active for many years as well. But if you know anything about Laser in 2025, you'll know that he basically retired from StarCraft. Like Laser, he stepped away, he stopped competing, and instead, Laser, he started focusing on AoE 4. Just like sort of, and just like a couple of others, he did switch and did focus on Age of Empires 4 instead, which is a different RTS game, and Laser took a massive break from StarCraft. Because of that, it is a little bit unfortunate, but Laser, he is now teamless. He was let go by Team Liquid. Looks like Team Liquid, they restructured, and they don't really have any interest in Age of Empires because AoE is not a part of EWC. So unfortunately, Laser, he did step away. But fun fact, ever since the new patch hit and the new map pool hit, Laser, he's been reinvigorated. Like the new patch and the new map pool did bring a Laser back, and Laser has been active again. It's been great to see. It's been great to see a Laser competing and playing again and devoting more time to StarCraft. It's a shame that it happened after he left Team Liquid, but it's really cool to see him here nonetheless. So let's go. Let's go. And again, he's been looking quite impressive as of late as well. Been looking impressive. Here we go. As we are jumping into our fresh best of 3. One more. There we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the teal Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the orange Zerg player. We have the Polish Zerg. It is a Laser. Here we go. So chat, do you guys know if the cast of the Wardy Cup of this weekend is planned? I'm not entirely certain as to what you're referring to. Wardy has Monday casts. He doesn't have weekend casts. But I do know that he was organizing his WardiTV, the playoffs, like the 2025 end of year event. I think that was yesterday, right? I think that was I think that should have ended yesterday. Over the weekend. I guess if you mean like, is there any Wardy event planned for this upcoming weekend? I don't think so. But again, he does host his Monday tournaments every Monday. It's in the name. If that's what you mean. But when it comes to his weekend event, I'm uncertain. Oh, 2-Rax Reaper. Okay. Meanwhile, we're looking in. So 2-Rax Reaper here by ByuN, opening up with his 2-Rax on low ground. Meanwhile, a Laser across the map going for what looks to be a delayed gas opener. Interesting. Going hatch pool gas instead. With this means earlier queens, earlier Ling production, delayed Ling speed, and delayed gas income here out of a Laser. Okay. So we'll see how Laser does respond. Because of the delayed gases, that means that Link speed is late, it means that Banelings are late, and Laser gaining map control away from these Reapers is going to be delayed. So I do prefer ByuN's position here. On the flip side of things, because of the earlier Queen production, a Laser should be secure on 2 bases, but getting a 3rd is going to be very difficult for a Laser. So he may just be contained on a 2-base setup. As the Reapers are rallying. I meant the 2025 championship thing. Oh, I see. I will say that for those events, they're exclusive to Wardy, so we don't cover those events. So events like the Wardy Summer Championship or the Wardy Korean Royale or the Wardy 2025 like end of year playoffs, those like specific special events that Wardy hosts, they're exclusive to Wardy. He does allow other languages to cast them. But when it comes to English broadcasts, Wardy has that kind of exclusivity, so we don't cover that. We cast the Mondays, these Monday tournaments, because they're open, right? They're open to all casters, they're open to all community members. These are the open cups. So there is a distinction between them. Meanwhile, the Reapers, they poke in, and so far the Reapers haven't really dealt too much damage, but if you remember something that we mentioned here as he does force a cancellation on the Spore Crawler, but something we mentioned is that what he's doing here is enough, which is no 3rd. No 3rd base for a Laser. Remember, a Laser, he cannot expand, he's contained on 2 bases, he cannot break out, and just now trying to take a 3rd base, but he should be denied. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a denial, and again, a Laser just cannot expand. A big delay on the 3rd base, and remember, a delay on Ling speed as well because of the later gas. So very nice damage here by ByuN. Behind this, ByuN is expanding. ByuN is taking up into a 2-on-1 stim timing. So stim is on the way. Starport as well. Ooh, it's going to be, 3cc 2-on-1. So we're heading into the mid game. It's going to be a later stim timing. This usually hits at around 5:30. So until then, ByuN is just chilling back at home and enjoying the greater economic start. So ByuN so far looking to be in a good position. And we'll see if a laser even goes for link speed. Do you see what I see? We have 100 gas. We have the gas, we have the money. He is skipping link speed. There's a higher chance that he may just go into roaches, go into a faster lair, into a roach horn, into roach play. Otherwise, he could even go into a faster lair, into mutas. Oh, what's it gonna be? We have an E-red chamber hidden behind the mineral line. Again, like, where are we spending this gas? Oh, sorry, my apologies. Link speed was researched. Sorry, my apologies. Link speed was researched. We are banking that gas, but it looks like fast +1 carapace. This makes sense against a 2-on-1. Because this is going to be an early stim timing, you... Oh, never mind. I was going to say you typically want +1 carapace to deal with the mass bio, but no, Laser's going for +1 melee. Okay, interesting. If he's going +1 melee and he's going for the lair, is he skipping banelings? Is he going... So, a style that has been popularized in the European meta and the European players is Raynor. Raynor, he's been going for a Ling Infestor Ultra. It's very risky, it's very greedy, it's very difficult to get away with. I know that Cyril did play it against Clem at Stars Agora at Maestos of the game, and he had some mixed success with it against Clem. Raynor, he enjoys it himself. I've seen mixed success from Raynor as well, but that's kind of what this looks like here. Is okay, we do have a Baneling nest on the way, so we're not skipping Banelings. Okay. My assumption here, especially with +1 melee, was that we might just skip Banelings entirely and just go Ling into Infestation Pits, but it is trying to go into Ling Bane. Getting there in a roundabout way. Marines, they sort of step in. We're here at almost 6 minutes. Gets one queen already, and without Banelings, we can just stim and win. Yeah, I mean, we can I think this might just be game. As Lings, they are going to be trickling in here, but again, the Marines, they trade so efficiently. Without any Banelings, how do you defend? And the answer is you don't. You do not defend. Marines, they break through the front door, they break through the Lings, the Queens, they get into the mineral line, 10 drones go down, another Queen falls. And a laser, he barely does survive, but he sustained a lot of damage here. Ay. +1 melee is about to finish up, but again, I don't know if that's the most useful of upgrades here. As that was insane damage. And ByuN is very comfortably ahead. ByuN, he's up in workers, he's up in economy, he's on his 3 bases, he's building up his bio tank. Now, what has ByuN seen? He hasn't confirmed... No, sorry, he did confirm the Baneling nest. Okay, he knows. He's aware it's going to be Ling Bane. If we have +2 melee? A laser? What's going on? So for those who are a little bit unaware as to the dynamic of bio versus Ling Bane Muta, or Ling Bane, traditionally in StarCraft and traditionally amongst the pro players, the reason why you often see a rush into +1 carapace and +2 carapace is because of the importance of your army even surviving to connect with the bio forces of the Terran. What I mean by that is the carapace upgrades, the defense upgrades do help your Banelings actually make it to the Marines themselves, otherwise they'll be focused down ahead of time, especially at this level of play where target firing is very common. So without the armor upgrades, it is easier to kill Banelings before they reach the army. That's often why you want those melee upgrades more often than the attack upgrades. Well, the defense upgrades more often than the carapace upgrades, more often than the attack upgrades. So it's an interesting choice here from a laser. It is interesting. It helps the Lings more than the Banelings, as the Banelings already do critical damage once they connect. And so far, nice target firing on the Banelings. Kites back here against the Ling Bane. Yeah, there's the target firing and the and the Banelings are not connecting, and they shouldn't connect here. As ByuN does keep his main army back at home. Snipes expansion. Oh, once again, nice target firing on the Banelings. 2 Banelings to survive. And so far, no single one has connected. Not saying that necessarily the upgrades would have helped any kind of connections there, but it's a rough position for a laser. It's just a more unique approach here from our Zerg player, which I find interesting. And again, I feel like it benefits the Lings more than the Banelings. But GG. So GG gets called. ByuN snowballs out of control, and ByuN, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Just a very rough start there for Alazer, winding up back when it came to the builds. Remember, Alazer had a very late third base because ByuN went 2x Reaper and Alazer went for a late gas. Remember, he went for a late gas, guys, or he went into a late gas. He went hatch into pool into gas. So his link speed was delayed even longer than usual, and without link speed he could not actually retain a third base, so it was contained on 2 bases for that much longer. Then we saw ByuN go for his 2-on-1, his 3cc 2-on-1, which did hit around 540, 550, and we saw that alas, Alazer wasn't ready for it. Alazer, his upgrade wasn't done, he had some link queen but not enough, and that initial stim timing did pretty much end the game. I want to say, was it 12 drones? It was like 12 to 14 drone kills. It was insane damage, plus 3 queens and all the Zerglings as well. So ByuN, he was able to deal critical damage early on, and then after that it was just kind of a formality for ByuN to just move out and to break Alazer. GG. GG well played. Again, a really chaotic early game here, and we'll see if our players can slow things down. We'll see what map we load into as well. Remember, Ruby Rock, it does favor aggression, so ByuN being hyper aggressive and being in Alazer's face makes sense on Ruby Rock. No shot we load into Tourmaline. We'll see. Where's map 2? Mothership. Okay. I can get behind it. Thought he already got link speed. Yeah, he got link speed. That was my mistake. I was curious to see what his gas is going to be spent afterwards. Chose melee, which was an interesting choice. But here we go. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Mothership, we have the Teal Terran player, the Teal Terran himself. We have representing Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Zerg player, the Polish Zerg, it is Alazer. All good, Super 4 stack, all good. Hola, oh guía. Bienvenidos. Oh guía. As we are going to be going for our initial hatch first. Welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a much larger map of the map pool, a longer rush distance by ground, obviously 3 different spawn locations as well. So the aggressive nature that ByuN went for, the aggressive build that he went for last game, should be weaker on Mothership. He's still going for the 2-rax opener there, so 2-rax Reaper. Still going for the same opener, still going for his Reapers. Meanwhile, Alazer, once again, do you see what I see? Late gas. Late gas, guys. He's going hatch pool into late gas, so just like last game, Alazer will have late link speed, he'll have late tech. The advantage is faster queens, but because of how this dynamic works without link speed, it's going to be difficult to actually establish a third base. It is going to be difficult here. So the Reapers are on the way, and again, ByuN, his goal here should just be to trade, be annoying, and to contain Alazer on 2 bases for as long as possible. To contain. First things first, of course, ByuN has to find Alazer, and you can see the rally here is bottom right. So rallying over to bottom right. Alazer also checking that location first as well. Confirms that ByuN is nowhere to be found. As ByuN actually does re-rally his Reaper towards the top side. And he is following. And ByuN, he will find him. Finds the Overlord, finds the Creep, finds the Zerg, and again is looking to contain, may even find a drone. Yeah, heads into the natural. No links? No Zerglings, and you can see that he's skipping link speed. This is what I assumed that Alazer would do last game. He's just, because because gas income is so delayed, we're just skipping link speed entirely and just rushing into roaches. The downside, 0 Zerglings. So there's no Zerglings to defend. Queen is very slow to react, very slow to respond. Mining is being denied. Getting more drone kills. Oof. Forcing out Spore Crawlers, forcing out Eva Chamber. Oh no! The drone! Another drone goes down. This is getting out of hand. This is already getting out of hand here. Roach production has begun. A laser, he's all in. Ooh, third CC. ByuN doesn't know. Yeah, ByuN, he has not scouted. He did not go into the main base. He has no idea. He's getting a third base. That would not help. He has to scout what's happening. He's doing a lot of economic damage, which is great and all, but he has not seen the tech. There we go. Now he knows. Yeah, now he sees. Now he knows. He needs bunkers back at home. Roaches are moving out. And back at home, ByuN, he is now going for the bunker. That bunker behind the production. Again, it's a very late bunker and a very late reaction here by ByuN. Again, rushing into this third CC might just be too greedy, and a laser may be able to pull this off. Now, because of the placement of the bunker, this means that the production, and more importantly, the tech lab and concussive shell is delayed, or is exposed. It is exposed. And the roaches may be able to cancel concussive shell and came the production. Speaking of, yep, going for the tech lab. Tech lab is under fire. And concussive shell should not finish. And again, this is on ByuN. This is on ByuN for not checking the main base, for being overly greedy at the natural. So no concussive shell. There's only going to be 2 marauders. Tank is on the way though. True. Tank is coming. Task force a lift up. Deeper should be picked up. But with the arrival of the tank, ByuN defense. So not the cleanest defense here by ByuN, but he should be able to hold on here. Kills one of the roaches. And a laser's droning. A laser is droning up. He's now taking his third base. Ooh, going for a Ling flood behind this. Uh-oh. A laser, he's done droning. Got up to 35. Now rallying Lings across the map. Allows down the first bunker, at least trying to. Tank is repositioning. I appreciate he does spread them out. Doesn't stack on the bunker. Meanwhile, a big shout to Baby Lings. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session earlier. And hope you had a great time with Expedition 33. Hope you had a great time. If you haven't either, welcome to the WardiTV Monday. We have mid-series here with ByuN versus a laser. And it's been a very chaotic early game. ByuN opened up 2x Reaper. A laser did open up with a late gas geyser into fast roaches. ByuN was able to do a lot of economic damage, and ByuN survives the roach counterattack. Meanwhile, Laser's not droning. Laser, he's all in. He's all in. We're flooding Lings across the map, flooding Ravagers across the map as well. Reapers to get into the main base. The all-in is coming. Back at home, what do we have? We have a full wall. Yeah, full wall off. We have a third bunker on the way. Third tank has arrived as well. We have another bunk. Jesus. We have a heavy defensive position here for ByuN. And the laser is going for it. He breaks down the first bunker. Yeah, the first bunker does go down, but again, there's still 3 more bunkers behind this. Whilst they do connect. But the repairs are too good. Yeah, the repairs are too good. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and ByuN, he will survive. He will defend. He will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played, ByuN. He will claim the series. Again, a laser. He did have a decent opportunity there just because his roach worm was unscattered, and his all-in was unscattered for a long time as well. Like, ByuN was woefully underprepared for the roach push. That's why he lost his tech lab, he lost concussive shell, he lost his production, but he survived long enough to get his tank, right? The tank did arrive, and that's partially because of the map as well, right? Mothership has a much longer rush distance by ground. It's a much larger map. It takes longer for the roaches to get across the map, so even though it was a late reaction by ByuN, he got his tank in time, he defended, and he was able to be secure as well. Fortunately, he also confirmed that there was a follow-up all-in coming, so he had a massive wall. He had 4 bunkers. He had 2 complete and 2 more on the way. He had a full wall off as well, so a very, very potent defensive position there, and Laser just didn't have enough. Did not have enough. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. ByuN, he will claim the series. He will advance on to the semi-finals, and that is where we are headed next. Un momento. So we are getting ready for the semi-finals. It's catching up in the chat. The crazy baby Lings. Let's go. But we are getting ready here for our next series. We're going to be following ByuN into the semifinals. It's going to be a TVP between ByuN and Clem. Un momento here. Bearing in mind that Clem, he has not played a TVT in over a year. It's been over a year since he has played a Terran versus Terran. He does always switch to Protoss when playing against other Terran players. Here we go. Okay. So we have our TVP, and game one is going to be on Winter Madness. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the red Protoss player. We have the French Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Teal Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. Here we go, and again, ByuN and Clem, they have gone back and forth when it comes to the TVP matchup. Of course, this meta, or the meta, has been shifting and changing quite a bit when it comes to this matchup in the recent patch and in the recent map pool, and we'll see how Clem has been approaching this matchup. That's what I'm most curious about. Welcome to Winter Madness. Winter Madness is a very large map in the map pool, large map, long rush distance by ground, very defendable 3rd and 4th expansion, so trying to be a little bit more turtle heavy. I do favor ByuN's position here, but for now he avoids the probe scout, and ByuN is coming in for the eBay block. So cheeky move here out of ByuN, does slip by, and he does get the eBay down. So he's trying to force the unnatural natural out of Clem. Clem thankfully doesn't scout too late. He does spot the eBay, but there's plenty of progression here. Yeah, he does pull the boys. Boys are being pulled. If he had scouted this a little bit later, there would have been too much progression and Clem would not be able to expand, but thankfully he does stop this at around 60% progression here on the eBay. He will be able to focus this down and eventually expand, but a big delay, denied mining time and delay in the expansion. So a better start for ByuN. Does have a nice start. There's the cancellation. There's the expand. But as we were getting at, welcome to Winter Madness. Again, this map does kind of favor more defensive play, at least more so than some of the other maps in the map pool. I will say that typically favors the Terran player, especially ByuN, as he's very fond of getting into the mid game. So we'll see how Clem can slow him down, if at all. As our initial Reaper moves out, we're still waiting for the tech of choice, whether it's going to be a Twilight Council, Stargate, or Robo. On some of these larger maps, I wouldn't be opposed to Stargate play, but Clem, he's typically a Twilight Council player. He's very fond of Blink, even willing to be more aggressive with Blink Stalkers as well. Speaking of, Reaper goes in, Twilight Council's on the way, and ByuN should scout. Ooh, even gets a probe. Yeah, gets a probe. Oh no! Almost gets surrounded. The Adept pops out, and the Reaper will fall. Does get 2 probe kills, though, is unable to confirm the tech. But not bad economic damage. Oh, meanwhile, behind this, you should see ByuN, he's going for a faster second racks before the starport. So no starport, delay in the starport, faster second racks. This could lead into a faster third racks as well. If that's the case, there's a high chance here that we just build up into a 2-base all-in, or at least heavy 2-base play. We spoke about this in the previous series with Clem, if you recall, with Clem versus Creator, but the goal here is to rush into earlier stim. So we have our tech lab on the way in the racks, earlier stim, delayed medevacs, into a heavy bio composition. But usually you go for the add-on swap. Okay. So no add-on swap here. We're keeping the tech lab in the factory. Going for early tank production, early tank push. Jesus. Yeah, this is going to be very committed. ByuN may pull the boys with this. He may pull the boys. It's going to hit quite hard, and Clem is yet to confirm. Clem, he back at home, is going for extra gateways. 2 gates in the main, 1 gate at the natural, 3 gate blink. Very safe play at a Clem, going for the robo on 2 bases as well, delaying the 3rd base, and that is a 3rd Rax. Oof, 3rd Rax before Starport, tank production well underway, and again, this screams 2 base all in. It is going to hit very hard. And Clem still doesn't know. Observer's on the way, that will help. Now, what does Clem need to do here? Once he realizes what's going on, he has to slow this down. He has to be active with the Stalkers. Remember, at the moment, he's ready for drop play. We have Stalkers in the main base and Stalkers here at the natural. Remember, Clem doesn't realize that there is no starport. There's no drops at all. There's not a threat of drops or Banshees or Widowmine drops or anything like that. Or Raven harass. Clem is in position for something that isn't coming his way. Whereas his army would be better served slowing this down. And here comes ByuN. Observer does spot this. Observer does spot the move outs. Clem getting in position. He's racing over as we speak. Nice snipe with the Observer. Observer gets sniped. Oh. At the same time, we do see Clem sniping the Cyclone. Not bad. Cyclone does go down. And again, Clem, he needs to be active here. ByuN pulling back. So ByuN, he's waiting for his medevacs. There's Yad on top into reactor medevac production. So ByuN, he's going for a later timing here. And this is giving Clem time to react with Immortals. So he's got his first Immortal already. Going for the Bay as well before the 3rd. This is very safe play at a Clem. It is very common in TVP for the Protoss player to get their 3rd base already, right? To get their 3rd base before the tech, even at times before the Robo. But here Clem is playing very safe, delaying his 3rd base, because the reality is the 3rd base is going to help too much against this. Observer confirms the build. Gets into the main base, confirms the production. Again, ByuN is just waiting for his medevacs. And we'll see what Clem does with these Stalkers. Does he slow this down by picking away... Oh, nice having the Observer. But does he try to slow this down and pick away at the Marines? Or does he backstab and blink into the main? I mean, he just lost the Observer, true, so he can't blink into the main base. But he's ready for the push. Can he get one of the tanks? Can he get a medevac? Oh, nice blink control. Does blink away. See, ByuN is trying to bait the army in. Massive tank shots. Gets 2 Stalkers. Very nice. 2 Stalkers go down. A better start here for ByuN. ByuN, he does commit. Oh. Leading out of Marauder. Does beat out of Marauder. The first Colossus is on the way. About to come out in a couple of seconds. No shield battery. Yeah, no battery at the 3rd base. This is it. ByuN is within range. The 3rd base is going to go down. Decent force fields. Knocks down a couple of Marines. Oof. Yeah, a couple of Marine kills, but again, the tanks are within range. They bully back the army. This base should go down. And no saving the 3rd. And again, ByuN, he was just so undisturbed here getting to his build. He was just left alone. Getting his 3rd base on location. He already killed the 3rd of Clem. And from here, he can just back off and rotate. He doesn't have to go for the kill. He pulls away. Pulls away. A comfortable start here for ByuN. Again, Clem was just playing blind early on, so he just wasn't aware of what was happening. And ByuN gets the hell out of here. His 3rd CC is going to be delayed. Baits out a mine shot. As I'll say, threatening to go back in. Clem, there's a lot of pressure on the Protoss player to do something about the 3rd base. Otherwise, he will just fall behind. He's up to 2 Colossus. No War Prism. Army's out of position. Not bad. Shagging in some of the mines. Gets one of the tanks. But there's just so much Terran. Yeah, ByuN can just stim and win. He's diving for the Colossus. He should at least get one. rushing on forward and does barely, not actually. Oh my god, he should get it. What a mess. There we go. Doesn't get one, he gets both. He gets both claws. GG gets called, then ByuN, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN will take a lead in the series. Again, a very rough start there for Clem. As a reminder, Clem just was not aware as to what ByuN was going for when it came to his build. We were trying to emphasize that Clem, he had his army ready for drop play, ready for Banshees or Widowmine drops or Raven harass. He was ready for anything to come his way, when really he had to be active on the map to pick away at the forces of ByuN to slow him down, and to even backstab to get something to slow down the push. Meanwhile, ByuN was just building up into a heavy 2-base move out, borderline 2-base all in, massively delayed starport, early tank production, early stim, to a heavy death blow of an army, and then from there was able to kill the 3rd base and take a lead from there. GG. GG well played. Again, hyper aggression out of ByuN, and Clem was unfortunately just in the dark for a little bit too long, so his reactions or his responses were quite limited just because of how little time he had to react and to respond. GG. GG well played. And so with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. As we're loading into a smaller map, going to be loading into Ruby Rock. Hello, Maris. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Nice cast. Always a pleasure. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Do appreciate it. Este, Maris. Oh. So we are getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock. We have the French Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, can he bounce back and force the ace match? It is Clem. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Teal Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Shopify. Leading the series 1-0, it is ByuN. Here we go. Now, just like last game, we expect to see more aggression out of ByuN. If you know anything about ByuN, ByuN is typically a very defensive and very passive player in TvP, but there are certain opponents where ByuN does turn up the aggression. Specifically, MaxPax and Clem. Whenever he's playing against MaxPax and Clem, he typically doesn't take that defensive approach. He's typically much more active, much more aggressive, much more unorthodox at times when it comes to his builds, when it comes to his play. ByuN feels pressured to get some damage done. And we kind of saw that in the last game. We expect to see that here as well. So far, double gas. Double gas opener out of ByuN, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed CC. So far, a more tech-heavy start, and this can lead into reactored Hellion drop play. This can lead into early Cyclone, early Banshee. Keep an eye on ByuN. Likewise, Clem is trying to figure out what's going on as well. He pokes in. The problem here, if Clem goes past this ramp, then he will be locked in and he will lose the probe. So Clem pulls away, checks the low grounds. For all he knows, it could be a high ground CC. But when he pokes in, he may get eyes on the building factory. Factory is on the way. You can see intentionally further behind. If Clem wants to scout, he has to go further in, and he does. Oh, Jesus. The SCV almost does trap him. You can see ByuN was ready with the depot. Clem pulls away, and Clem did scout the tech, did scout the production. He saw the factory. So big moment here for Clem. He knows. Again, early on, you have this intense back and forth with the workers. Clem gets out. Clem scouted. And he knows it's a later CC. Meanwhile, you can see ByuN is hunting down the probe, trying to at least. He's looking for the worker. Clem did get away. Did pull out. And from here, we'll keep an eye on the add-ons. So far, going into Reactor Reaper Hellion. This is a very aggressive start. I mean, we expected something aggressive out of ByuN. We're going for a Reactor Reaper Hellion. The goal here is economic damage. Your Reaper Hellion doesn't scale well into the mid game. It's all about rushing into a mineral line and wreaking havoc in the bases, in the natural, in the main. We'll see where he can break through. Meanwhile, Clem, he's not entirely aware. Clem, he has his gateway in the main base. Twilight Council as well, going into Blink. He's already got his second gateway. His SimCity here is decent. And if Clem was aware as to what was coming his way, he should wall off. He should just wall off here with a gateway, with another gateway as well. He's not aware. And we'll see what ByuN can get done. Does dive in. Going for the adept. Shield battery will barely keep it alive. The army does rush past. Does try to, but messy move here. Yeah, messy out of ByuN. Does get in. Does get a probe. Gets a couple of workers, they do line up, the boys are pulled, they surround the Hellion, and Clem only losing 4 probes. Nice defense. Nice defense here by Clem. What did ByuN lose? 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers, 5 units for 4 probes. Better trade for the Protoss. So better defense. Again, it was just a messy dive into the bases. Like ByuN, he failed to get the adept, he took some extra damage, he KDA charged his own units. Just a very messy dive. And now Clem can counterattack. Yeah, picking up and pulling the Marines. The bunker is not ready. And if the bunker doesn't finish, yeah, Widowmine is barely going to go down as well. The bunker will finish. Oh no, it's not done. No, the bunker. Sniping another Marine. Finally, the bunker finishes up. 1 Marine survives. And Hefty lost the Stalkers. They just avoid it. They just ignore the bunker. They just walk in. They deny mining. And again, because ByuN lost so much across the map, he has nothing to defend back at home. Widowmines are waddling in. Boys are being pulled, more SCVs are going down, and Clem, he does react in time, does pull away. Oh my god. Does split, nice splits out of Clem. Saves all 3 Stalkers. 5 SCV kills, 9 mining time as well. And Clem, he's just going to snowball from here. Yeah, GG gets called. We don't even get a final fight. And Clem, he ties up the series. We're going to the ace match. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. It was a very risky maneuver from ByuN. Winding it back, ByuN, he doubled down. He went and reacted Reaper Hellion. We spoke about it, but he was focusing. He was hoping for some critical economic damage. He dove into the natural, dove into the main. It was not worth it. It was not worth it. It was very messy execution there by ByuN. And once he lost his Reaper Hellion, bam, triggered a counterattack. It triggered a counterattack immediately. And we saw that ByuN wasn't ready. The bunker wasn't done. Because of that, almost every Marine went down. By the time the bunker finished, 1 Marine survived, and we got 1 Marine in the base, or sorry, in the bunker. That wasn't enough to stop the army. So from there, Clem just walked in, killed 5 more SCVs, and it all just snowballed from there. GG. GG, well played. This time the aggression from ByuN just was not worth it. It did not pay off, and we're going all the way to game number 3. Let's go. Jump into game 3, and we'll see how this story ends. I'm hoping we can sink our teeth into a bit of a longer game this time, as this did end very quickly and very abruptly, but we'll see. We shall see. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the French Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Liquid. Tying up the series, it is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the teal Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. So getting into the ace match here. It all ends on Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a very small map. This is the most aggressive map in the map pool. All-ins are very common on Tourmaline, and we'll see how cheeky our opponents are being here. Oh, hello. As ByuN goes for a fake proxy racks. Let's go. Now, in this matchup, it is not uncommon to hide your racks further back in the main, behind your main base mineral line, behind your natural mineral line, your 3rd base, your 4th base. It is not uncommon to go for a fake out to try to force an overreaction. But ByuN, he's kind of going for a fake out, but not really. Now, this is more committed here, 2 Raxes, but the reason why you see this here from ByuN, what did we just say? Tourmaline, this map favors aggression. This is a very small map, so even though ByuN isn't proxying on Clem's side of the map, the rush distance by ground is close enough where you can just all in from back at home anyway, and it still hits very hard, right? You see this a lot in like PvP, for example, where it's very common for Protoss players, they don't even proxy, they just one base all in from back at home, right? Just because of how small the map is. So Clemmy scouts, Clemmy confirms the Rax is missing, and it's on Clem to figure out what the hell's going on and where the Raxes are. So Clem, he's checking further in the main. Yep, checks behind the mineral line. As we mentioned, it's not uncommon to just hide your Raxes behind the base. Yo, ByuN. Are we going for a ninja? Let's go. So 2x Reaper into a... I mean, we had the money for it. What's the plan? Okay, SV does double back around. Okay, CC at the natural. So for a moment there, I was like, is he going to expand into his third base location? No, it's going to be here at the natural. Behind this Clem, he made the Zealot, so he was forced to overreact. So far successful here by ByuN. Clem is checking, looking for proxies. Clem's still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So early Zealot, early Stalker, delayed Warp Gates, just delayed follow-up. Now, the question becomes, was this worth it? On the one hand, yes, Clem has had an inefficient start, but so is ByuN, right? Like, ByuN, his own CC is later, like, he opened up with 2 Raxes, they're floating. He's got his 3 Reapers, but he has to make this worth it. So a very quirky start. Reapers going into the main. Stalker's in position. Reapers, they can rush past. Awkward KDA charge. The first Reaper is going to go down. Does kill a Stalker at least, but not the damage that ByuN was hoping for. Man, not ideal. Clem is fine. Like, Clem, he can just chill. He can just settle in. He killed a Reaper. And the game will continue. Now, from here, as we can see here, we have a factory and we have another Rax. So we spoke about this in game 1. This screams a variation of 2 base all-in. We saw something very similar in game 1 where we had early stim and early tank production. As you can see here, that is another tech lab on the factory. So this looks like a very similar build to game 1. But of course, we got there in a different way. So this looks like a heavy 2 base all-in with early tank production and early stim and delayed medevacs. Now, in game 1, Clem didn't see this coming until it was too late. We'll see if Clem is able to scout earlier this time. Clem playing safe, going for the robo. Hallucinations do not confirm. He does at least get eyes on the tech lab in the factory, true. He's aware of the tech lab. There's a piece of the puzzle this time. There we go, and this time he's going for hallucination. Remember, in game 1, and even in game 2 as well, Clem, he never opened sentry, he never went for hallucination. Finally, he gets earlier scouting. And it makes sense just because of how aggressive ByuN has been this series. And there we go, Clem, he confirms, he sees all 3 Raxes, he sees the factory, confirms no starport, early eBay, he knows. So Clem is fully aware. Behind this, going for a faster third base. And we should see Clem be more active and be more in the face of ByuN. Going for earlier stim. Sorry, charge is what I meant to say. Going for earlier charge. Again, that does help immensely against tank pushes. Even here, punishing the Reapers. Starting back the Cyclone. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. As we mentioned, it is imperative here that Clem is this active in this in the face of ByuN. It's what he failed to achieve in game 1 and how he's adapting here in game 3. Clem is outside the bases. Behind this, going for a heavy gateway composition. Again, Zealots are ideal when it comes to shutting down these early tank pushes. And here come the medevacs. Now, I'll say early tank pushes, this time only 1 tank. Remember, in game 1, we went up to 3 tanks. Like, ByuN, he built up to 3 tanks, and he had a very intense, like, tank bio composition. This time, only 1. This time, there's more bio. More Marine, more Marauder. Nice time with the Observer. Because of this, charge isn't going to be as useful. Clem moves in with another Observer. Just trying to get eyes on the move outs. Or drop. Speaking of, Gunny does load up. So far, unscouted. Observer goes further in. ByuN does spot the observer. Let's bring it down. Keen eyes out of ByuN. Behind this, we have the army that's been amassing up the entire time. Again, Clem just warping in as many cells as he can, staying on a lower gas count. Remember, this time Clem is aware of the push. And this time Clem has an army. Jump moves in. Clem is ready. And Clem, he doesn't get the medevac, but does get a marauder, does get a couple marines. And so far, this has been unsuccessful for ByuN. It's not looking good. And remember, ByuN's third base is heavily delayed here in favor of this timing, and this timing, it's not hitting. ByuN turns around. Oh, does find the prism. And does he get it up? He does. Prism goes down. Nice pick up. No backstab. And does ByuN pull the boys? Yeah, we pull the boys. We just pull the boys here. Like, there's only, it's all or nothing. All or nothing. ByuN has to win the game with this push. Again, things are looking bleak here for ByuN just because Clem is much better prepared this time. And we're going for the base trade. Oh no! Clemmy scouts. Okay, Clem knows. Clem knows, and he commits anyway. We commit. Remember, Clem, we can always recall. As ByuN is making his way towards the robo. Clem, he abandons the natural. He's getting ready in the main. At the same time, Clem busting into the main base of ByuN. ByuN does lift. ByuN attempts to evacuate. Marines, they peel off into the mineral line, and natural is forfeit. A robo went down. But here, breaking the main base is not going to be easy. Clem cancelled. We got the refund. Clem got the refund. We have extra warp-ins. ByuN pushing into the main. And there's a recall available. But again, to Clem, I don't think he can recall into this. Not against this many Marines. There are just too many. There's so much man with gun. Ooh, does recall to low ground. Okay. He saves the army. Very nice move. He saves the army. He will lose the main base at the same time. ByuN finds bottom right. He finds the ninja bases. As Clem, he wants to try to save it. He's committing here to bottom right. Oh, go for the medevac. Nice pick off. Medevac goes down. ByuN, he does reset all the production. There is a force. Cannons because of that. True. Cannons are amassing. And ByuN, time is of the essence here. The cannons are about to finish. Alright, what do we have? 29 zealots. Jesus, a very heavy zealot composition. No splash damage. No colossus. No storm. Just very zealot heavy. Depending on the angle of attack, ByuN could still win this fight. I mean, ByuN has a lot of potential with the army. Gets over the cannons. Zealots are coming from behind. The mine shots. Shells the mines. Ooh, yeah, the wind mines, they do connect. Force tools working against the zealots. Decent engage there from ByuN as ByuN kills the expansion. How many zealots left? 21. 21 zealots. Wind mines are going to reset. Oh. Clem, never mind. He's going to focus him down. Gets one. Nice pickup. Gets one of the wind mines. There are too many zealots. Yeah, too many zealots here. Clem, he's back up and running. He has some mining. So does ByuN. Both on one base. ByuN, he has top left as well. Oh, Clem, he peels off some zealots actually. He's going for the counterattack. He's going for the run by, going for the counterattack. He wants to try to get into the main. Tank is exposed. Clem turns around with the zealots. Turns around. Doesn't quite get a stalker. Can still very tense. Nice snipe. Gets the zealots. Every unit counts. Clem has been supply blocked the entire time, but his gateways are getting back up and running. ByuN, he has some production. He has Marines. The Marines are on the way. Marines are banking in the main. Yeah, they're banking in the main base. He's ready in case Clem goes for a run by. Clem, he does come back around again. ByuN rotating. They don't see each other. ByuN rotates over. Oh, gets spotted. Who catches who? I'm trying to collapse in. Tank is exposed. Yeah, tank goes down. Decent Widowmine shell, but that's a massive pickoff. Here come the reinforcements from ByuN though. The Marines. Yeah, the Bio Army comes in. Does ByuN have enough? Oh my god, hot pickup. Very nice save. Once again, using the force fields against the Zealots. And that's going to be almost every single Zealot going down. There's, what, 2 Zealots left. Again, the force was working against Clem here, and ByuN, it looks like he's done it. Yeah, he sims on 40, breaks through the Zealots, gets on top of the Immortals as well. Takes down the army, and Clem, he's down to, what, 3 Stalkers, 3 Zealots, almost nothing left. Oh, we're a little bit over sim, but I should be fine. They're metamax. GG gets called, and ByuN, he takes down Clem 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Hi. GG, well played. Very, very intense game, as ByuN does claim the series, does knock Clem out of the tournament. Very intense, very back and forth. We did see 2 fights, if you remember. There were 2, I want to say, crucial moments there where it felt like the force fields were, again, working against Clem just because they forced these Zealots to bunch, and then the mine shots were brutal, whether it's Widow mine shots or just the concave of the Terran army. We saw that ByuN was able to have better engagements. Typically, SimCity does favor the Terran player against a heavy Zealot composition because SimCity, or in this case force fields, reduce the service area, and they force Zealots to go the long way around, and they force these choke points and these bottlenecks that, again, work against the Protoss army. Of course, the base trade was very chaotic, and it could have gone either way. It was very fortunate that ByuN, he was able to scout bottom right. He was able to chase the probes, cripple the economy. And if you remember, even though Clem had bottom right for a decent chunk of time, he was heavily supply blocked because he lost all of his pylons. If you remember, ByuN had a wall of depots still alive, so ByuN didn't have to worry about getting supply blocked. He was able to actually get his production up and running faster. Clem never really did. He never really, by the time his production got back up, it was too late. It was too little too late. So it took Clem a much longer time to reestablish himself. Meanwhile, ByuN was much faster because he had a lot more production surviving, his Raxes, his depots as well, so he was able to get back up and running, reinforce his army, and of course he had multiple CCs as well. It looked like Clem was a little bit indecisive as to what he wanted to do, right? He was like trying to go across the map and then back around, then back across. He had a very immobile army because it was so Zealot heavy, and it's just a very awkward game state. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, ByuN does advance on to the grand finals. My condolences to Clem, as Clem is knocked out, and we are getting ready for our next semi-finals match. Still feel like Clem will do better as Terran. If you are talking about Clem's TBT, I would disagree. There's a reason why Clem no longer plays Terran against Terran. It is his weakest matchup, and I mean, he was kind of bullied out of TBT. If you remember, it was last year, December, not just December, but the majority of last year, whenever he would get knocked down, it was players like Ryung, Kyor, ByuN, the other Korean Terrans were having a field day with Clem, and eventually Clem, he did abandon the Terran, of course, in TBT. So, I would probably say that if he played Terran, he'd lose faster. Like there's a reason why he doesn't play TBT, I should say. Reason why he doesn't play it. But GG well played. With that, we are going to be getting ready for our next semi-finals, but we'll be getting into that after the break. So we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we will have our next series. It is going to be MaxPax versus Rogue in a PvZ. So we'll see you then. We'll see you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the semifinals of the WardiTV Monday number 65. We are halfway, if not more than halfway through the broadcast at this point, going through the round of 16, the quarterfinals, and the first semifinals match. ByuN causing a massive upset and bringing down Clem to advance on to the grand finals. I did see in the chat someone saying that I feel like Clem would do better as Terran. It's one of those things where it's very rare to see Clem lose in PvT. Whenever it does happen, people always speak up saying like, oh, why doesn't he just play TvT instead? But unironically, Clem has some of the best PvT in the world. There have been periods in time where his Protoss versus Terran has been better than MaxPax, better than Classic, better than Hero. We bring this up all the time. There's only one Terran player in the world that Clem hasn't beaten. That is Maru, and the only reason for that is because they haven't played. Like they just have not hit each other in tournaments. That's why I was so sad that Maru didn't go to Star Zagora at the start of the year. That would have been the moment where they would have faced, but outside of that, they just haven't played. I say that they haven't played up until, I want to say that Pig posted like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. They hit on the ladder, true, but like they have not played in tournaments. Like they just haven't hit each other. So Clem hasn't had the chance to showcase his PvT against Maru, but against everyone else, against, you know, Cure, ByuN, Bunny, Ryung, against all the other Terrans out there, Clem has dominated with his Protoss. Of course, here ByuN did beat him in a base trade in an upset. But GG well played. A really solid result here by ByuN. Very strong result. And with that, ByuN is waiting for either a Zerg or Protoss opponents. Let's find out which one. Let's go. We're going to be loading into Winter Madness here for game number 1, into one of the larger, more defensive maps. Ooh, a little bit surprised it's made it through the vetoes. Let's find out where our players take us. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. We go. As we have our PvZ, the first one of the broadcast, actually. Great to see some Zerg representation in the semifinals. It is very rare to see a Zerg player make it this far. We often do see players like Raynor, Solar, Shin, and Rogue compete, but very rarely do they make it to the top 4. So we're happy to see some diversity here for the WardiTV Monday 65. I appreciate it. Do appreciate that diversity, as Rogue did make it to the semis, and we'll see how our players will approach Winter Madness. Now, when it comes to the meta of PvZ, we've been discussing the meta quite a bit, just because the meta has shifted heavily in almost every single matchup because of the new patch and because of the new map pool. When it comes to the PvZ meta, we have been seeing a rise of aggressive builds and aggressive play, just because of how much more open and how much smaller most of the new maps are. I say most because that is not applicable to Winter Madness. Now, to be fair, Winter Madness is not as defensive as Tokamak. It's not as defensive as even Celestial at times, but it is a very large map. It is relatively defendable on 3 and 4 bases. I will say the downside here is that the bases are spread out, so it can be difficult to rotate back and forth, but I will say it's relatively easy to just wall off, wall off, secure yourself, and build up into Sky Toss on Winter Madness more than, say, Tourmaline or Ruby Rock or 10,000 feet. So as a result, we could see MaxPax go for something more defensive and something more tech heavy. We'll keep it on MaxPax. For the most part, though, the meta and the kind of the progression of PvZ has just been leaning more towards hyper aggression in the mid game on both sides. Has been the trajectory. Meanwhile, as related to a much larger map, this is where mutaplay has been a lot more accessible, whether it's on maps like Winter Madness, on maps like White Rabbit, and on Celestial Enclave. On these larger, more defensive maps, we have seen Zerg players successfully get into mutaplay to harass, to maintain map control, and to get an economic lead, building up in towards Hive Tech. So far, Stargate opened out of MaxPax, and we'll see where Rogue takes us. For now, we'll take the unnatural natural. Rogue is droning, Rogue is saturating. For now, the openers are normal, and we should just be seeing MaxPax take his 3rd base. What we're really looking for, though, is whether or not MaxPax opens up Void Ray, and whether or not MaxPax gets a Twilight Council before the 3rd, or even during the 3rd base, and the timing of it specifically. So our eyes are on that Twilight Council. Based on the rally, it looks like an Oracle. So they're looking more like an Oracle opener out of MaxPax. Adepts they poke in. So far, no damage. Rogue is keeping up. Oracle's on the way. Second Adept has arrived. Two Adepts taking one-shot drones. And if they see an opportunity, they will dive. They will dive if they see an opening. They pick up a tumor, not bad. Tumor goes down. Adepts they barely do shade away. Rogue he wants that Adept. Ooh, nice movement out of MaxPax. Does regenerate some shields. Oracle moves in and the Adept is safe. Saves the Adept. At the same time, third base has been thrown down. The Oracle's in position to defend. Lings are deflected. And so far, MaxPax has had a comfortable start. Back at home, Rogue is still droning, still saturating. Still building up. MaxPax, he commits to the shade, gets into the natural, into the third, and two drones. So yeah, two drones going down, not bad. Gets two workers, Oracles are coming from behind, getting a third and a fourth drone. Nice damage here by MaxPax. And because of all this aggression, his third base is safe. So far, at least. We do see the counterattack. Rogue, he has to apply some pressure to the third. He's hoping he can force back MaxPax. MaxPax is already on his way back home. The Oracle is in position. Meanwhile, this is going to be a standard timing of the Twilight Council and Forge. It looks like +1 and Blink. This should not be Glaives. This could be early charge. Could be. But so far, everything looks standard. And as you recall, if you remember at the beginning of the game, we did mention that on Winter Madness is a higher chance we do see standard play here on this map. Because it is one of the more defensive maps in the map pool. Meanwhile, early Evo Chamber, Rogue going into +1 melee, going into what looks to be Ling Hydra. Save the Roach Horn out of Rogue. We'll see if he commits into any kind of Roach commitment. And Roach production. Oh. Two more drones. Lings they poke in, Adepts are in position. And so far it's been 6 drone kills. 6 drone kills so far, and MaxPax has had the better start. Building up his Stalkers, getting into the mid-game. Just clearing up all these spotterlings. Rogue, he should be, there we go. I was about to say he should be skipping Roach production and just focusing on his Ling Hydra, and there it is. That Roach Horn is cancelled. Goes to the Bane Nest. So it's going to be Ling Bane Hydra out of Rogue. Standard mid-game. MaxPax is poking in, but he shouldn't find too much damage here. Just pokes in, the nice creep, forcing out Lings. And Rogue should be able to hold his own. So far, we've just had a very, again, stock standard kind of mid-game here. MaxPax pulls away. Behind this, taking up into Storm. Which would be ideal against Ling Bane Hydra. Now, technically, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's no Hydra Den yet. Oh, are we bold enough to go into Ling Bane Ultra? It's been a while, okay. No Hydra Den, not yet. I'm aware that there are players like Lambo and Rainer as well that have been playing around with faster Hive and faster Ultras in PvZ, making use specifically of the new Microbial Shroud. But we'll see if that's going to be the case. So far, forces the recall. Nice round with the Lings. Gets one. Just one. Two. So 2 Stalkers get picked off. Storm is on the way. Roki has gained map control. Is rushing into +2 melee. And again, the infestation bit is done. Show us that Hive. There it is. Hive is on the way. No Hydra Den. This does scream Ling Bane Ultra. Okay. And again, this typically coincides with the Infestor and with Microbial Shroud. As Lings are collapsing in. He wants the Archon, and he barely does get it. Nice pickup. Archon goes down. Now, if you remember, a couple of years ago, Dark was very fond of going Ling Bane Ultra even before the change of the Infestor. This was back in the Ancient Cistern map pool. This would have been, what, 2022-ish era of StarCraft? And it's very difficult to pull this off, but ideally what you need to gain and maintain map control with mass link, right? You have to be hyper aggressive and make sure that MaxPax never moves out across the map, just so you can have the breathing room to build up, to drone up, and to get into your ultras. So far, MaxPax is securing his 4th base. I believe MaxPax has yet to scout and confirm. He does get eyes on saturation, but seeing pure Ling like this and seeing the lack of Hydras, it does scream Ultra, right? Like, so MaxPax should have an idea as to what's going on. Technically, this also could be Mutas. In MaxPax's mind, I mean. In his mind, it could be like spiring to Mutas, but to be honest, we would have already seen Mutas by now. So based on what we're seeing and based on what we're not seeing, everything points towards Ultras from the side of MaxPax. That is, as the Ultra Cavern. Immortal production is underway, ideally against a mass Ultra. Going to Skytos is ideal, that is true, but getting to Skytos can be difficult without a heavy Immortal count. We got Drop Lords on the way. MaxPax turtling up into Skytos. But again, his current ground army is still lacking. Rushing into Skytos too quickly can get you killed. And this might be too quick. Oh, no bathing speed. Jesus, bathing speed only just now starting? That's a mistake. Yeah, that's a mistake. Rogi just realized that he had no bathing speed. The Storm does even more here against the slow Banes. Yeah, Storm zones away. Forcing out more Lings, delaying any kind of Ultra production. Oh, a little bit premature though, with some of the Storms. Yeah, a little bit premature, and MaxPax, he pulls away. Again, his Storms are limited, he's down to 3. Things they attempt to run by. Nice round on the Zealots. Surrounds at least some. Motherships in production. Now we have the second robo. This feels late. It's a late second robo. Right now, MaxPax needs as many Immortals as he can get. Immortals, Archon, Storm. MaxPax needs time. He needs more time. The Ultras are coming. Now, we are missing something. If you notice, if you remember, initially when we saw this, it was like, oh, it's going to be Lingbane Ultra Infestor with Microbial Shroud. There are no Infestors. There's no Microbial Shroud upgrade either. So this is a more... Oh, as Lings, they bust in. Yeah, Lings, they do drop into the natural. So far, no major damage. MaxPax defends. Hey, locks this down. But this is a more traditional form of Lingbane Ultra. This is more of what we saw, again, a couple of years ago from Dark. Nice Baneling run by. If you remember, this was back in the era when Baneling run by is more viable, when +2 would one-shot. It was in that era of StarCraft. But without going Infestor, without going for Microbial Shroud, this army is going to be more vulnerable, right? It's going to be more susceptible to the Immortals. This is where Microbial Shroud will really excel. Even if you have a high Immortal count, you can go for the mass Microbial Shroud, you can ignore those Immortals, get us around, and still deal critical damage. Without that supportive spell, I'm not entirely convinced. Nice kill though. That's a kill, not a cancel. Now, the other thing we could see, that, and you're seeing it here as well, is that Rogue, he could try to bypass the army and go for these backstabs. MaxPax is in position. He's ready at his natural. We're going for the Ultra drop into the natural. Let's go for the drop. He'll bypass the second army. Uh-oh. And Ultras are dropping in. He's dropping at the same time. We have a Spire on the way, getting ready for Corruptors. Ultra drop into the natural. Do we get a recall? Do we counterattack? And MaxPax, he commits. His natural base is forfeit. Nice Storm on the Banelings. Hatchery goes down, and we're trading bases. Yeah, we're trading bases here. Ultras, they eviscerate the natural. MaxPax is not stopping. How many Ultras defensively? Only 3. There's 3 across the map, 3 back at home. Banelings, they crash into Ultras. Nice Storms. Oh, and there's not enough there. There's not enough back at home. Rogue has to pull away. Zealots strike the right-hand side. And Ultras have to get the hell out of here. He has to pull out, Pappy. And at the end of this, MaxPax comes out ahead. He does come out ahead here. Yes, he lost the mineral line, that is true, but the main army of MaxPax is still terrifying. Still a terrifying main army. Rogue making 5 more Ultras. Now, thankfully, there isn't too much Sky Toss. It's just a mothership, right? There's no Tempest. There's no carriers. Nice catch on some of these Stalkers. The Lings, they slip in. Oh, the wolf at the wall. Hero. Killing the Nexus. Okay. Snipes the Nexus. Snipes a Robo. Very important. Does cripple the production. There's 1 Robo left. Sorry, 2, actually. It's triple Robo production. 2 Robos left. MaxPax still maxed out. How many Storms? There's 3-Eyed Templar. Not many Templar. Not many Storms. Going for the slow zone, decent stasis trap, but the Ultras, they collapse in, and they're getting on top of the Immortals. Very nice catch here. The Ultras, they just collapse in, they shut down the Ultras, sorry, they shut down the Immortals. Oh, brutal choke point. But again, the Remax takes how much longer? MaxPax is missing a Robo. He's missing a Robo, he got caught out in the open. Ultras, they traded well. And MaxPax is in danger. He's in danger at this point. His immortal count was reset. That shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. Even here, losing another immortal. Oh my god! Oh my god! Yeah, massive pickle, losing another immortal. Losses that MaxPax cannot afford. And it feels like Rogue has done it. It feels like at this point, like he's traded well enough. He's remaxed, and in the next 2 fights, Rogue should overwhelm. Now, there's still chances with stasis traps, true. Traps are being set up. There's how many? There's 10 Ultras here for Rogue. It's collapsing in. There's only one Immortal. One Immortal. Maybe stasis goes off. The Ultras, they just ignore it. They just keep rushing in. And this mass Ultra should be enough. They're breaking through the main army. 2 Overseers left. Oh god, down to 1. But Ultras, they break through. They break through, and with that, Rogue, he has done it. He just overwhelms MaxPax. Again, MaxPax just took an awful fight in the center of the map. It just went too poorly for him. Losing his army, losing his 3rd Robo. And Rogue can just rebuild, remax, and do it again. I was a little bit concerned that he wouldn't be able to break the forces of MaxPax without Microbial Shroud, and that would be the case if we saw this. Like, if we saw Rogue trying to break a more defensive position, then I do agree that we would have needed Microbial Shroud. But fighting out in the open and MaxPax getting caught with his pants down, I mean, who needs it, right? Needs Microbial Shroud. Just collapse on the army. As MaxPax back down to 4 bases. Really a 2-base economy. Rogue, he has every other expansion on the map. Plenty of money, plenty of resources. You could argue that his gas income is a little bit stifled, but there we go. He pulls back into gas. Pulls back in. And MaxPax should never be able to expand. Whenever MaxPax tries to get a 5th base, Rogue should be there to stop him. Should be there. Things they're threatening counterattacks. Once again, Rogue, he's only checking for expansions. It's really patient play. Very, very patient here out of Rogue. So he doesn't want to overextend. He's morphing in his Brood Lords. There's no need for Corruptors here. Just because there's only 1 unit in the sky. Just a mothership. As long as there's detection, should be fine. Now, MaxPax, he has actually been able to refine his army here and built up to how many? Built up to 10 immortals. Jesus. And I would be concerned for Rogue if he only had ultras. But remember, he's got brutes. Like, the broodlords are here, so he has the answer to the immortal. Yeah, broodlords are revealed. So thankfully for Rogue, he did tech up. Tempest production has begun now that the broodlords have been shown. Oof. Gets a mineral line. Rogue's being thrown away for free. The mudship is going on a trip. Interesting. Getting ready for a recall. Speaking of, there's a recall back home. Saves the mothership. MaxPax does get one of the expansions. Nice catch on the very nice catch on these lings. Get into the bases. There's the recall back home. Recall to the mothership. But the fourth base mineral line goes down. Aye. Yeah, the cloak is too late. The base goes down. A little bit greedy morphing in more broodlords just because now we have some Tempest out. I suppose Rogue isn't aware. And again, it's really on Rogue to engage ahead of time. This army that you see from MaxPax is terrifying. Like, it's a very, very beefy army here, but it's very ground focused. And again, MaxPax, he has no bank, right? He has no bank, he has no economy. So any unit that MaxPax loses, he cannot replace. We're gonna be here for a while. Ideally, Rogue would be setting up his Spore Forest at this point, just because he has a massive bank. So we should be, ideally, you'd have like 10 spores here with the Broodlords. So you have some kind of buffer against the Tempest. Looks like Rogue is going to give up his base. His hatchery goes down. Rogue, he comes in from behind, trying to, a little bit mistimed. And messy engage here from Rogue. Failings, they roll in. Ultras, they trickle on forward. Again, a very messy engage here. And MaxPax, he stands his ground. He shuts down all the Ultras. Now going for the Broodlords. Remember, there's not many Corruptors here. The Tempest, they just go to town. And Rogue, he'll lose everything. Rogue, he'll lose everything here. Again, a very messy fight out of Rogue. He'll lose every single Broodlord. Now, thankfully for Rogue, he can remax, and he is remaxing, but this was a very, very rough fight. It should not have gone this well for MaxPax, but Rogue, he just trickled in. If you remember, Rogue, he was just trickling in Lings, trickling in Ultras, like it wasn't all coming in together at once. It wasn't well timed. That was the best fight MaxPax could have hoped for. To be honest, that was the best fight he could have hoped for. He reset the Broodlords. Rogue, he burned through most of his bank. Nice round with the Lings. And this time he has enough. Yeah, this time the Ultras, they collapse on top of the Immortals. And with the reinforcing wave, Rogue, he does have enough. GG gets called, and Rogue takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Rogue takes the lead in the series, and again, MaxPax, he was able to hold his own for the most part. He was able to build up to 5 bases. The moment that MaxPax lost control of this game was when he pushed into the center of the map and he got surrounded. He got locked down by the ultras, if you remember. This was right after he lost his 3rd robo, so he had a really hard time rebuilding his immortals, and he lost everything. He lost everything then and there. If you remember, that was the moment where he lost his 5th base as well, and he never retook his 5th. He was never able to retake that 5th base. He was just stuck on 4 bases, and even though MaxPax had a really good fight towards the end, he had no economy, so he couldn't rebuild. GG, well played. With that, we are now getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. We're jumping into game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Celestial Enclave. What were the vetoes? What the? We're loading into the largest maps in the map pool. Okay. We're just missing White Rabbit. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Celestial Enclave, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself. Oh, we have the Danish Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg, representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Leading the series 1-0. So far, so good. Again, MaxPax is coming in as a favorite player, but for Rogue to take the first game here, I mean, a night of upsets. Remember, ByuN took down Clem earlier. Can Rogue take down MaxPax? Let's go. As Rogue, he has denied his natural. So from here, we can even just pylon block as well. Or attempt to. Just body blocking. Back at home, MaxPax is setting up, and he will force the... oh god, he forces the pocket base. Jesus, a nice win here for MaxPax. So very inefficient expansion here for Rogue. Nice win for MaxPax. This will slow down the creep, and it also, of course, slows down the economy. As Rogue is going hatch gas pool. So nice moves here by MaxPax. From here, welcome to Celestial Enclave. We spoke about this previously, but Winter Madness is maybe top 2, top 3 defensive map in the map pool. This is the most defensive. Here on Celestial, you can set up on 3 bases very easily. Your 4th base is also very secure as well. This is kind of one of those maps where you can secure yourself quite easily here on a 4 and even 5 base setup, which means if MaxPax were to play a similar style, I say similar, not the same, but if you wanted to rush into Skytoss, this would be a better map for it, for sure. Is a better map for Skytoss. At the same time, we could once again see something more cheeky out of Rogue. Last game, we did play around with the idea of mutas. I bring that up here again. That a hidden spire in mutas is quite common here on Celestial Enclave. We'll see. I'm not too fond of the idea of Rogue going into Ling Bane Ultra again. I didn't mind that on Winter Madness, but specifically here on Celestial, the map itself is less open, right? There are more choke points, there are more ramps, more points of elevation, more areas here to take better engagements against an attempted surround. But we'll see. So again, going Ling Bane Ultra worked wonders on Winter Madness. I'm less fond of it here, but we'll see where Rogue does take us. Going for his 3rd base. As he's reaching saturation already. See in the chat, the best block is a hatch block. True. Garbage. So far, standard open out of MaxPax, just laying the expansion, forcing it on natural, forcing inefficiencies. I mean, you can see here just how oversaturated Rogue already is. The reasoning for this is that this pocket base is safe because it's it's a pocket expansion, but there are less mineral patches. There's only 1 gas geyser, less patches, so less efficient. Rogue, he needs that 3rd, he needs a base. MaxPax also open Stargates, going for the Oracle. Back at home, the Adept is in position. It's one drone so far. Just the one. One, two, three drone kills. Back at home, we have our Twilight Council waiting with a Forge. Hello. Delayed Forge out of MaxPax. Okay. You have my attention. This was a bit of an earlier Twilight Council, and we have options here. Do we go into Glaives or do we go into early Blink? But a much more aggressive build here by MaxPax. The Oracle gets in. 2 more drones. Now, what I appreciate about this build out of MaxPax as the Overlord will get a full scout is that coming into Celestial Enclave, I feel like most players expect to see a defensive player and a more defensive build out of the Protoss. So MaxPax kind of working against those expectations and being hyper aggressive instead. And with this, the move out the overall blink timing should be designed to hit the 4th base. Should be. As the Forge has been delayed, gateways are finishing up, and we'll see if MaxPax can apply pressure to the 4th. He should soon be moving out. Let's go. Now again, Blink should be done in time for MaxPax to be able to make use of it while breaking down the 4th expansion. The goal here should be to force a cancel, and we'll see if he can. Back at home, we have 20 Lings in production. He's building up his Ling count. He's thankfully not being too greedy. Lings, they come in for this round. So the Oracle's a 4. As Blink is not yet done. Premature. Yeah, premature to MaxPax. He moves out a little bit too soon, losing 1, 2, 3 Stalkers already. Oh my god. Could have been worse. Nice engage there from MaxPax. He does punish those Lings. That was how many? That was 21. 21 Lings for 3 Stalkers. I mean, ideally, MaxPax doesn't lose those Stalkers, but he traded well nonetheless. Traded well. Blink is done in 7 seconds. Army gets spotted. Rogue is trying to get in position. As MaxPax clears up those tumors, he rotates around. At this point, I think it's been too long. I feel like the 4th base should be safe here for Rogue. Oh, they shade in. Shade in, they distract. MaxPax, he's able to apply some pressure. And the first stasis goes off. Nice stasis. Stasis connects. Hatchery has taken a couple of hits. But still plenty of Zerglings. And MaxPax is taking up. He's taking up. Taking up into Storm, into Charge. 4th base is on the way. Again, MaxPax, he may not have been able to deny the 4th base, but he has traded well. He's been trading very, very well. Rogue, he is not droning, by the way. He is under-droning, under-saturated. Surrounds a couple of Zealots. Nice round here with these Lings. And it feels like Rogue is 3-base all in. Yeah, he's 3-base all in. He's intentionally not droning up. Stalkers, they trade well against the Lings once again. And it's all or nothing for Rogue. But he's losing too much too soon. Yeah, before the all-in really hits. MaxPax snipes the Queen. Shaves off so many Zerglings. And Rogue finally starts to drone, but these drones are so late. Delayed saturation, delayed economy here out of Rogue. Now the stasis goes off. It feels like Rogue has identified that he can no longer kill MaxPax, but this recognition, this realization is late. It's a late realization here. So late drones, late saturation. More stasis traps going off. Here comes Zealot run by, sniping the 5th base. That's a kill, not a cancel. Hydras are exposed. Failing run by does get into the mineral line, but these Hydras, they should not be here. Oh no! An expensive army, expensive losses here. There's no Hydra speed, by the way. No Hydra speed. They try to waddle away. That's going to be, what, 9 dead Hydras? And Max actually just keep going. You just keep on pushing. So many Hydras going down. Links in. Nice focus firing. With help of the Banelings, it looks like Rogue should hold. Rogue, he's holding on. Surviving. Even catching 2 Stalkers towards the end, not bad. Does get a couple of Stalkers, and once again, Rogue again, very undersaturated. He's got 69 workers, nice. Now getting his 5th base, he's focusing on his Ling Hydra, but again, he still has no Hydra speed, just now realizing. Last game, we forgot about Baneling speed. This game, forgot Hydra speed, so it finally has begun. I mean, that would have been quite impactful in the defense, in the retreat, and in the aggression as well. So it feels Hydra speed, man. They've been so slow. And you can see MaxPax has a booming economy. He's got 83 probes against the 68 workers of Rogue. So MaxPax is ahead economically. For the time being, he's still sticking with a ground composition. There's only one robo. No fleet beacon yet. I spoke too soon. There it is. Fleet beacon's on the way. I mean, now is the best time for this. For MaxPax to just tech up and to out-tech his opponent. Rogue, he's doubling down. Again, Rogue, he has no hive. There's no hive, there's no lurkers, no further attack. Bailing's there with a high Templar, gets one. Gets one Templar. Storm, Jesus, the storms. Bailing connects. High Templar to survive. And the Bailings, they don't quite make it through. That's what 2 High Templar getting slammed towards the end. Again, it's all or nothing for Rogue. Rogue, he gets into the mineral line, and can he end it? Rogue is all in. He's breaking the main army. That was, what, 3 High Templar going down full of energy. No storms. Gets into the mineral line. And Rogue, has he done it? Rogue gets the expansion again. There was so many Templar there and so many wasted potential for storm. Rogue kills the base. He's going to keep going. Turning back now is not an option. We just gotta send it. Send it back. As time goes on, it's getting worse here for Rogue. The storm goes off. Oh god, no! Takes almost the full storm to the face. Oh god, indecisive there at a Rogue. Prism goes down. Rogue turns everything around. He F2's back home. Now remember, Rogue was all in, and what is scary is that, fun fact, Rogue still has an equivalent worker count to MaxPax, to the Protoss. So MaxPax economically is still fine, by the way. He lost the base, that's true, but he was ahead. Like, he could afford to lose it. Like, Rogue, we gotta keep going. Remember, he's Lair Tech all in. No lurkers, no hive, no nothing. Just Lair Tech all in at a Rogue. Does go for the fresh mining base. True. Banelings, they roll in. Ooh, forces out an Archon. Big move. There were 2 more storms there and they get wasted. Base is going down. Rogue is going to keep going. Barely gets the expansion. Takes down the Nexus. MaxPax down to a 2 base economy. Really a 1 base economy. Not even half a base. Nah, 1 base. 1 base economy. At the same time, though, Rogue also doesn't really have the best mining either, is the reality. He's oversaturated. Still rallying over. Remember, Rogue has a less efficient composition, a less efficient army. But he can still pull this off. Is he giving MaxPax too much time? I'm still busy with the Zealots. Nice connections. Brings up the Chargelets. Like Rogue, he's done well killing bases, but this army, it's getting bigger and bigger. With how many you have? 4 High Templar, 4 Templar, 4 Storms. Stasis traps as well. Base out 1. Base out 1 stasis. The other connects. Decent connection. Storm in the Bailings. Slow zone as well. Bailings, they do not connect. Yeah, no major connections with the Bailings, but that was the final High Templar, final Storm. Hydras are on their own. He needs more Lings. And Zelts are coming from behind. Yeah, they're coming from behind. They collapse on the Hydras and a massive cleanup here. MaxPax, he shuts down the main army. They get a much stronger engage here. The Storms are brutal. And as we mentioned, the Bailings just did not connect. MaxPax, he holds. He holds. Retakes his base. Rogue is hurting. And remember, the longer this game goes on, the worse it is for Rogue. It's getting worse over time. Now there's a carrier. Another carrier's on the way. Rogue, he's not built for Skytoss. Not like this. And again, at a certain point here, Rogue could have made the decision to drone, to get another expansion and to actually drone and actually have an economy, but he has refused to do so. Like again, he's committed. At this point, it's too late, to be honest. Like, I'm referring to like 3 minutes ago. I'm referring to the moment where he killed all the expansions and when MaxPax was down to 2 bases. I feel like in that moment, then you can make the decision to tech up into Hive and to drone up. But that time has come and gone. Rogue going for the Doom Drop. That's force a recall. I'm gonna get out of here. That's a lot of Hydras. Oh no! Gets one. He gets 1 High Templar. No detection. No shot. 0 detection. Gets 1. Gets 2 full Dropper Lords. Oof. Those are expensive Drop Lords as well. Remember, that was a Hydra drop. It's 2 Drop Lords full of Hydras. GG gets called. The all-in has failed, and MaxPax, who survives, he will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. It was close. It was very close, very clutch, very impressive play there by Rogue to be all in. He again, he committed into a layer tech all in on 4 bases. His goal there was to break MaxPax, but as we mentioned, the longer the game went on, the worse it became for Rogue, as the all in was losing more and more strength over time, and eventually MaxPax did recover. We did mention it that there was a moment in that game where we could have seen Rogue make the decision to start to drone, but he chose not to, right? It was specifically the moment where MaxPax lost his bases. He lost his 5th base, he lost his 4th base. He was down to a 1 base economy on 2 Nexi. But Rogue, his decision there was to try to double down and kill. And we saw what happened there, right? We saw he just barely didn't have enough. He wasn't able to trade well enough, wasn't able to break the main army, and in the end, over time, MaxPax recovered. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting ready for the ace match. We're getting ready for game number 3. Let's go. Loading into that 3rd and final game. Going to be loading into Title Citadel for game number 3. Oh boy. Aye. One of the more quirky maps in the map pool, I will say. Here we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss tying up the series 1-1, surviving and making a series out of this for System Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Rogue. Whew. As we have our ace match here, we've made it all the way to game 3. Welcome to Title Citadel, a much more awkward map in the map pool. Now, the reason for this is because it is a larger map, that is true, and it has relatively defendable bases. We have a choke point, pretty wide choke point, coming into the linear third base. We do have multiple entrances into the triangular third, but what I will say is that these bases are very spread out. They're very, very spread out here. The third base, the fourth base. As a result, defensive rotations can be quite awkward, can take a long time, and it can be difficult to keep up with your opponent's movement as the defender. So that is a bit of a caveat to how defensive you can be on this map. So we'll see how our players will approach this. Rogue has been hyper aggressive this series so far. Game 1, Rogue of course went for Lingbane Ultra. Game 2, he went for a Lair Tech All-In off of a 4-base economy, which do exist. 4-base All-Ins, I mean, we just saw that. Just saw it. I mean, at 4-base All-In is generous. He had 69 workers, so 3-base saturation. So 3-base All-In. With a 4th base just for Larva. What does Rogue go for this time? See in the chat, dancing in the story. There were some crucial moments there which did help MaxPax, and he was taking better fights when it came. I mean, the storms were brutal. We saw a lot of storms, a lot of heavy storm connections on Lingbane and on the Hydras as well. True. A lot of very potent storms. Again, Storm is now a really powerful defensive tool just because it lasts so long. So as a zoning tool defensively back at home, it can be very, very powerful, and I feel like we were able to showcase that in the last game for MaxPax. Because Rogue was all in, he had to go through the storms, and MaxPax got the most amount of value out of said storms as well. There we go. But now, Stargate open out of MaxPax. As, oh, for the first time this series, that is a Twilight Council before the third. Okay, so the fastest Twilight Council we have seen so far in this best of 3. With this earlier council, we could see a couple different things. Overall though, hyper-aggression. Hyper-aggression out of MaxPax. This can lead into early glaives. This can lead into early glaives, this can lead into early charge, this can lead into early blink, but for the most part we're leaning towards glaives here from the side of MaxPax. Gateways are being thrown down, and show us the tech of choice. Meanwhile, it's on Rogue to confirm. Rogue, he's poking in. Shows glaives. There it is. Glaives are on the way. Now, if Rogue skips his Roach Warren, and if you remember, this series, he has been skipping his Roach Warren, or at least canceling. If you remember last game, or sorry, was it 2 games ago? Game 1, where Rogue, he got a safety Roach Warren, then he cancelled and went for the Bailey Nest. Here, early Evo Chamber screams plus on melee, screams Ling Hydra. Does he get a safety Roach Warren? If not, he could just die to this. Oh boy. Adepts are massing. Again, this is very intentional, but MaxPax is banking his adepts here at the natural base. There it is, safety Roach Warren, thankfully. So Rogue, he's playing it safe, Roach Warren's on the way. Again, he does not intend to make roaches, but it's here in case he needs them, and he will need them. So to start massing. We do have the revelation here. I believe MaxPax, he did see the Roach Warren. Yeah, he's aware. He's aware of the roaches. Despite that, adepts are massing. Having the Roach Warren is one thing, but making roaches is another. As here we go, MaxPax, he will move out. Again, this is very committed. This needs to get some damage done. Remember, MaxPax, he's delaying Blink and delaying +1 and delaying his third base in favor of this early Glaives build. So there's a lot riding on this. Setups they move out. They get spotted by the Zelnaga tower. Rogue, he knows roaches are amassing, and does Rogue wall off in time? He should. There we go. He does wall off with the Spore Crawler. Yep, there we go. Does wall. Evacuates with the drones. That's not a wall. Uh-oh. There is an opening into the natural. Adepts a shade in, and does he check the natural wall? Oh, doesn't quite commit. Finds drones. Yeah, drones going to be going down at the same time. Blings they bust into the third base. Adepts are in position, and Adepts will defend. So Roki defends well. Shades back into the third. The drones are the drones that came back too soon. Oh no! Yeah, they came back too soon. Drones are going down. Not bad. Nice pickoffs here by MaxPax. Back at home, Blink is on the way. Stalkers are amassing. And these Adepts, they've done well for themselves. They get 6 drones. They tread well against the Lings. The Oracles, they hit the third base. Once again, getting... Oh! Forcing out the Eva Chamber. Sorry, Spore Crawler even. And Rogue is going for the all-in. So Rogue, he's sustained a lot of damage here, and he's going for what looks to be a 2-base all-in. 45 workers. You can see here, no drones. So the drones here at the third base are basically a fake out that make it look like he's macroing, but he's not. There's no macro, there's no drones, no saturation. We're committing to the 2-base all-in. We're going for the German taxi. Where's the taxi? There we go. Taxi's morphing in. Queens are amassing, and it's going to be all or nothing. Either Rogue kills MaxPax or he dies trying. MaxPax taking a 4th base. This is very greedy. He's throwing down some cannons, shield batteries. Overlord does load up. And Rogue moves out. Okay, back at home, what do we have to defend? Blink, I believe, is done. Yeah, so Blink is complete. There are a couple of defensive Adepts. Stalkers are ready. Shows stasis. Very nice. Stasis goes off. Oh my god, full Doppler goes down. That's 3 queens. 3 queens get sniped. Ay. Nice target firing out of MaxPax. Going for the final queen. Yeah, no more queens. No more anti-air. GG gets called. The all-in fails, and MaxPax, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense final game here. MaxPax opening up with the Glaive Adepts, able to deal some decent damage, trading well against the Lings, getting 6 drone kills as well. He crippled the economy, and Rogue, because he sustained so much damage, he made the decision to go into the all-in. So he responded, he reacted with the 2-base all-in. We saw that MaxPax, he already had Blink, of course, he had his cannons and shield batteries finishing up, and more importantly, he sniped the Dropper-Lord. He sniped the Dropper-Lord, so there was no Queen support, there was no transfuse, no anti-air. Because of that, that was a massive loss for Rogue, and a big misstep and a big mistake to lose that Dropper-Lord. Without those queens, the all-in had lost the backbone of its army. GG, well played. With that, he got shut down. Nice station traps, of course, as well. And MaxPax, he will advance on to the grand finals. Let's go. Let us go. It was brutal. Like, to lose 3 queens full of NG immediately. Again, that means no transfuse. That means there's no anti-air against the Oracle. That means there's no support for your army. You're lacking your creep. It's a big blow to the all-in. Well, it's brutal. But here we go. With that, we have our finalists. One moment. It is going to be a best of 5 grand finals between who? Between MaxPax and ByuN. As a reminder, ByuN took down Clem earlier in the semifinals, was able to bring him down in that PVT, and ByuN has been patiently waiting for his next opponent. Oh, let's go. Here we go. Cool game out of MaxPax. I mean, yeah, really impressive to see MaxPax be more aggressive. He was much more aggressive, much more assertive to go for the Glaive Adepts in that final game. And was relatively successful with the damage. True. And here we go. We have our finals. Game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. Let's go. We have our top 2. We have our top 2 players. And again, we're used to seeing MaxPax versus Clem. But remember, we had a massive upset earlier where ByuN did take down Clem earlier in the semifinals. And now instead, we have some Korean on European action in the finals. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Here we go. We have our top two. We have our finalists here. We have our PVT. And we'll see how ByuN will adjust. Now, if you remember, we spoke about ByuN's tendencies in TVP earlier against Clem. If you remember, what did we say there? ByuN is typically a very defensive player. He's typically very defensive, specifically in TVP. He's the kind of player that's very fond of going into your natural, into a third base, into the mid game, and then building up into a maxed out army and getting to a fourth base as well. Like, ByuN is very fond of that. But against certain players, ByuN does kind of flip the script a little bit. Against players like Clem, against players like MaxPax, and against players like Hero. Those are the three that come to mind. Hero, Clem, and MaxPax. Against these Protoss players, ByuN, he is hyper aggressive instead. He does not play standard. He does not play for the macro game. He does not play for the mid game. He is often very two base heavy. We saw that against Clem and it worked. It did work against Clem. We'll see what he can achieve here against MaxPax. So far, eBay block. Nicely done. He will force the unnatural. He does force out the unnatural as MaxPax. He cannot even expand here at the third location. Forced to expand at the fourth location instead. Oh my god. Very well positioned here for MaxPax, expanding out in the open on the low ground. And he will be vulnerable to early Cyclone aggression, to early Factory, and there it is. Factory's on the way. So ByuN is not aware yet. ByuN, his SCV will scout. He will confirm how exposed MaxPax is. There we go, is aware. And now it's on ByuN to punish. Now suddenly, you can see MaxPax, he's stuck here in his main base and out in the open here for his natural expansion. So ByuN can abuse this area. He can abuse the area in between the bases, or even just apply pressure to the third base or to the quote-unquote second expansion itself, or even the main base. It's going to be up to MaxPax to spread himself thin and to keep up with the rotations of ByuN. There's the add-on swap going into reactor to Hellion. So reactor into add-on swap into Hellion production. Now remember, how many Hellions does it take to one-shot a probe? 3. 3 Hellions, or 3 shots to kill a probe. So we should be making 4 Hellions in total, moving out, and the goal here is to rush into a mineral line, to rush into one of these bases, and to do as much economic damage as possible. Meanwhile, Twilight Counts are open out of MaxPax. Nice SimCity getting his gateway up and running as well. Hellions are revealed. Ooh, nice snipe, nice delay. Oh, but the Adept does fall. Again, Hellions are amassing. MaxPax, you can see, is trying to set up here. Does have a safety shield battery at his natural. The unnatural. And ByuN, he's up to 4. He's up to 4 Hellions. And where are we headed? Are we going to go for the second base, the first base, in between the bases? Where are we headed first? Where does he find an opening? Behind this, that is a second racks before the starport. So again, heavy aggressive follow-up. Looks like he wants to go into early stim. Hellions, they rotate towards the second base. And does go for the mineral line. Gets 1. Gets 1 probe so far. Gets up to 3. Gets up to 5. Oh, 4. Okay, 5 probe kills. He pulls away. We'll lose 1 Hellion. And so far, not bad. 5 probes to 1 Hellion. This is a better trade for ByuN. It isn't game ending, but still a better trade for the Terran. So far, so good. As ByuN does rotate around, at the same time, MaxPax going for the counterattack. ByuN has a defensive cyclone. Uh-oh. ByuN, he's ready. He's ready back at home. Hellions, they dive into the main. Lock on the Stalker. MaxPax tries to pull away, but he should lose the Stalker here. Oh, lock on is broken. But the Hellions, they bust in. I think another volley. Yeah, another massive volley goes off. Down to 2 Hellions. Oh, still another 6 probe kills. That's 11 kills in total. Oh my god, almost another, but 11 probe kills for 4 Hellions. Very worth it for ByuN. And he defends back at home. He defends back at home. And remember, he's going for a 2-base all-in. He's going for the early stim timing. Third Rax is on the way. Again, a hyper aggression out of ByuN. Tank is sieged. Free shot goes off. Gets a Stalker. MaxPax just getting bullied here. Hey, calm down, ByuN. Calm down. Yeah, once again, he set up here, wants to catch another Stalker. Remember, Stim is halfway done, and that's the timing we're looking for. ByuN may even pull the boys with this. Even pull the boys. Another tank shot goes off. Hull damage on the Stalkers. MaxPax going into 3-gate blink. Does make his way into the main. ByuN is out of position. His army's on the low ground. Blinks in. Can he get Sim? Going for the SCVs. Okay, going for the mineral line. Boys are being pulled. A nice damage here by MaxPax. Getting 5 SCVs. Not bad. Getting up to 8. Oh my god. And now there's not much less to pull, by the way. There's the recall. 13 SCVs. Nice damage. Remember, ByuN was going for a 2-base all-in anyway. And it's time to send it. Time to send it. Stim is on in 5 seconds. Now, what's important here, what's crucial is that MaxPax, he moves out. You can see that MaxPax, even though he recalled, he has to be as active as possible, and ideally he snipes the tank. We'll see what he can get. And here we go, the boys are being pulled. Here, repair the tank. MaxPax, he does spot the move out. I mean, he has the observer. Dives in, catches reinforcements, and this all-in from ByuN is failing. Does get 2 Stalkers though. 3. Okay, Stalkers are getting punished. They're getting picked off. It's very tense. This is a very tense moment here. Back at home, we do have the Prism in the main base of ByuN. Again, ByuN, he has to get across the map, but he's bleeding out a lot of units. Losing 3, 4 Marines. Observer gets spotted. ByuN setting up his tanks. Losing a Marauder. Oh, god. And again, ByuN this entire time has been trying to push across the map, but he cannot get here. It feels too late. It feels too late. Now there's an Immortal. Now there's 2 shield batteries. ByuN had a very nice start to the game, but the Stalker harass in the main base was brutal. Now here comes this around. Here comes this around. Tanks to siege. There's only 2 tanks left. Nice side for the Immortal. Okay, gets 1 Immortal, but again, there's barely any Marines remaining. ByuN, can he still pull this off? The robot will fall. More reinforcements on the way. True. Takes down the pylon. Stalkers are ready to catch him. Getting on top of the tank. Charge is complete. And MaxPax will clean this up. Yeah, he takes down every single tank here. MaxPax, he shuts down the all-in. GG gets called. Whew. And MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Meanwhile, big shout out to Luis GGG in the chat. God, Papi God. Thanks so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome one and all to the grand finals of the WardiTV Monday number 65. We're here in the finals, best of 5, and MaxPax takes the first game. Again, a very intense game here for MaxPax. ByuN had a very strong start, killing probes, catching Stalkers, and setting up for the 2-base all-in. But it was crucial that MaxPax got into the main base. He was able to bypass the army, slipped past, was able to get into the main base, kill 13 SCVs. 13 SCVs, and slow down the push, bring it all the way back, and then slow it down even further as well. So really, really crucial there that MaxPax was able to get into the main base, buy time, deal critical damage, slow down the production, and slow down the all-in. I mean, you saw how well ByuN was even achieving damage across the map when his all-in did get across the map. He was still killing Immortals and killing Robos. Imagine if that hit 30 seconds, if not a minute earlier. Would have been completely different. But GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into 10,000 feet for the first time tonight. True. For the first time. Here we go. So in chat, Stim plus 3 tanks is going to win this game. I mean, it would have if it got across the map, which is why it was crucial there that we saw the backstab, right? That we saw the counterattack to slow down ByuN, to buy as much time as possible. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sasson Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the teal Terran player. We have the teal Terran, the South Korean Terran. For Shopify, it is ByuN. Here we go. Hello, ByuN. As last game, he did go for the eBay block, and once again, it does skirt around the edge of the map and looking to skirt around the edge, and is not set up for the eBay block this time, but does avoid any kind of probe scout. Show us what you got. Show us a proxy. We have a Rax back at home, and we are primed for not quite a Rax across the map. Okay, he does sit by. Probe is in position. He does get the SCV, and this time this eBay block will not be as successful. So remember, last time we saw that ByuN was able to get up to like 70% done on the eBay before being scouted. This time, scouts it early, pulls the boys, and the eBay block is denied. So a much cleaner start here by MaxPax. Otherwise, he would have been forced to expand once again at a more exposed location, and we could have seen ByuN abuse him even further. Remember, we're loading into 10,000 feet, not Winter Madness. This map is much smaller. Smaller rush distance by ground, aggression is more favored here, and all-ins hit even faster on this map. So being forced to expand at the third location would have been even more brutal on 10,000 feet. We've seen many a Protoss die trying to defend that third location as a natural. I mean, we've even seen MaxPax fail to do so as well. So here, quick to scout, quick to react. Much cleaner start at a MaxPax. Meanwhile, back at home, ByuN is going for the factory before CC. We're going for the... I mean, we could even proxy starport. No shot. Factory's finishing up. Eyes are on ByuN. CC. What's it gonna be? Starport or command center? Huh. 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 There it is, starport. Oh, okay, bold move. Hyper aggression out of ByuN once again. So he will opt to delay his CC. He delays his command center in favor of the proxy starport. He's going for the Hellion drop. So reactor to Hellion drop here. Again, hyper aggression out of ByuN. A lot is riding on this. He needs to get damage done here. And we'll see if MaxPax scouts. See chat, non-replay WardiTV Monday. Oh yeah, bamboozled myself. Yes, if you remember, ever since October, we only cast the WardiTV Monday via replays, just because it starts very late. Starts very, very late. So since October, we have been doing it via replays instead of live casting. Eventually that'll change once again, I'm sure. Eventually. Otherwise, here comes the medevac, here come the Hellions. So again, it takes 3 Hellions to one-shot a probe, and we're up to 4, soon to be up to 6 Hellions. Oh! Diving, just walking right in, oh my god! Does dive in, losing 1 Hellion already, 1 volley goes off. Down to 3 Hellions. Barely gets a volley off. Killing 3 probes, but yeah, not enough. Not enough damage here, losing every single Hellion. Again, a very chaotic dive here from ByuN, very ambitious. It was not worth it. He will lose every single Hellion. And even had to cancel the medevac as a result. Yeah, cancels the medevac. Hellions, they try to dive into the natural. Once again, MaxPax is fully well off. GG gets called. The aggression has failed, and MaxPax takes the 2-0 lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, hyper aggression out of ByuN, going for the 1-1-1 proxy starport, and he kind of took the bait. He decided not to wait for the medevac. He dove in with the Hellions. He tried to rush into the natural, but he bled out too much. He bled out too many Hellions in the process. He lost 2 Hellions in the process as a result, and he did not enough damage. 3 probes, 3 probe kills, nowhere near enough damage. Was not worth it. GG gets called. And now MaxPax is 1 game away from claiming the series. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Skylar in the chat. God, baby God. Jesus, it's very late, isn't it? I feel like it's quite late in the Americas, so get some rest, baby. Get some rest. But thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Take care, baby. Take care. As we are getting into game number 3. Oh boy, and so far MaxPax, he's leading the series 2-0. 1 more game is all that MaxPax needs to claim the series. Oh, you woke up early. Oh my god, we're not a degen? Let's go. Non-degen in the chat? Aye, 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 papi. Okay, take care, papi, take care. Happy holidays as well, true, true. Happy holidays, take care. Oh. And here we go, and here we go, we're getting into game 3. We're going to be loading into the Old Republic. Go. Wish I wouldn't give up getting up so fast. Have an advantage combined with your opponent is a real thing. If you're referring to ByuN tapping out there, I should emphasize that ByuN was very far behind because it wasn't just an aggressive opener. If you remember, he went for a 1-1-1 before CC, before the command center. So ByuN was borderline, I wouldn't say all in, but he was very committed at least, where he had to do at least equalizing damage to make it worth it, because otherwise he would just play from behind. And especially on a map like 10,000 feet where a counterattack hits even harder, there's even more pressure on you to find damage done early like that if you're committing that much as you're expanding, right? So for ByuN to do so little and to be that committed with a proxy and with all the Hellions, and remember, he was reinforcing not with Cyclones but with even more Hellions. Again, it was basically an all-in there from ByuN. So for him to do as little damage as he did, I mean, there's no recovering from that. Like, at this level of play, like, he has that much respect for MaxPax, and whether it would have been MaxPax or Clem or Hero or Classic, like, yeah, it's brutal. Meanwhile, Proxy T-Rex, let's go. We have 2 proxies here from ByuN committing to the Proxy T-Rex. There is 1 Gas Gadget back at home. I believe this should be for Proxy Marauder. I believe from here you can go into the Tech Lab, into Marauder production, but ByuN is going to double down as we load into the Old Republic. Let's go. Here we go. Sometimes better for just mental. I mean, not even just that, but like, it isn't even just better for your mental, but like, for example, if you lose a game, are you really going to just sit there and make your opponent kill all your buildings? Like, it's like, it's almost like that. Not quite, of course, just because in that kind of game state, technically ByuN has units to work with, but like at this level of play, like, again, like, you're respecting your opponent enough to know that if you fall far behind enough, like, your opponent should win, right? Like, it's, ooh, as we scout everything. As MaxPax, he pokes in and he finds the racks. As he finds the Proxy 2 racks here out of ByuN, Marauders have been spotted, and MaxPax now can prepare back at home with a shield battery. Here we go, shield battery in the main base. We should from here we can even go for a faster robo for earlier immortal production, earlier gateways, of course, earlier war pins. As MaxPax is ready in the main. Just gives up on the natural. Oh, going for a Stargate. I mean, hey, this is a secure way to defend as well. The Marauders, of course, they don't shoot up. Not just that, but this is a really good way to counterattack as well. Back at home, we need the Cyclone. We need that Cyclone as quickly as possible, otherwise the Oracle can wreak havoc. Assuming that MaxPax does open up Oracle first. Oh, also my apologies. There we go. This happens every time that we have like an early proxies. I forget to set up the scores. I was just so engrossed. Very good. Edit the shade past. ByuN is racing back home. ByuN is racing back. There's the Tech Lab. Void Ray first. Okay, so Void Ray will clean up the low ground, then MaxPax can expand, and the game will continue from here. So getting into this kind of game state, I mean, I will say that ByuN's in a decent position. Because it was a Stargate opener and a Stargate follow-up, it does mean that there's no Blink Stalker aggression either, so ByuN has a little bit more time to be free back at home and to get into his 2-base economy. He's rushing into the Cyclone, again in case it's Oracle first, he needs that defense. And the game will continue. Building up the 2 gates. Control by MaxPax. Oh, he may lose the Stalker. Up! Ooh, gets one. Nice pick ahead of ByuN. Gets one of the Stalkers. And again, back at home, ByuN, he has a much faster expansion. Like, so far, this has been, I would say, a pretty good start for the Terran. Doesn't kill, but hey, he's able to get a faster base, building up his anti-air. ByuN is even getting his Viking. Early tank. Oh, that was not a cancel, by the way. That was a kill here on the eBay even. Jesus. So a bit of a misstep there by ByuN. Bit of a misstep. But again, he's getting his natural up and running. Would you see a MaxPax to recover? Double expanding. Okay. Does go straight for the third. Now, what I will say is that we have been seeing hyper aggression out of ByuN this entire series because of the greed from MaxPax and because of how late his tech is, like later Forge, later Twilight Council, I mean later everything. ByuN could turn this into a 2-base all-in. We'll keep an eye on him. Stim is almost done, so early Stim. And we'll see if ByuN does commit to the move out. As there should be a window here where he can punish MaxPax. As MaxPax is going to look to contain. Ideally, MaxPax, he needs to find some damage here as well, bearing in mind that he's still recovering back at home, still probing. And does find some Marines. Not bad. Gets 1, 2, up to 3. Yeah, 3 Marine kills. Doesn't lose any Stalkers. So nice clean up there by MaxPax. ByuN, he's waiting for his medevacs. He's moving out. ByuN does hug the edge of the map. Hugs the edge. Oh, coming in from behind, trying to catch out the Stalkers. Okay. Bold move. So ideally, ByuN, he wants to bait at the bait at the blink. Going further into the center. So ByuN, he wants to engage, he wants to stim, he wants to bait out the blink, and then come in for the surround. Speaking of, oh, there it is. Yeah, there's the blink. Stims on forward. It gets 1, gets 2, gets 3. Very nice catch. 3 full Stalker kills, massive pickups, 5 Stalkers. Oh my god. Catching 5 Stalkers. And now we just commit. Now we just send everything across the map. It's all or nothing for ByuN. ByuN, he is expanding back at home, but again, he's very committed here, and he has potential to end the game. He can end it. Back at home, where we have to defend. A charge is done, but no immortals. Yeah, the first immortal is still on the way. Does have some force fields at least, but this is going to be a tough hold for MaxPax. It's going to be a very tough hold. Nice pick off, so takes down both Widowmines. Both Widowmines getting on top of the tanks, but too much Marines. Yeah, too much bio here. ByuN, he stims and he wins. He breaks through the main army, pushing to the third. Nice bait on the Widowmine. MaxPax trying to come in from behind. So far, he is buying time for extra warpins. Uh-oh. MaxPax, he might now have enough. He's going for it. It does go for the dive. The tank will fall. And MaxPax holds. No shot. He holds on. He saves his third base. The final tank goes down. That's still a big chunk of Marines. But again, ByuN, he lost the backbone of this army. He lost all the tanks. And MaxPax holds. He's holding on. Now, ByuN still did trade well, and even though ByuN isn't breaking the expansion, what is he doing? He's denying the fourth. You can see he rotated. He rotated, he's looking for the fourth base. There is no expansion, which means economically ByuN is ahead. So ByuN has a stronger economy as he's on at 3 bases himself. Getting it up and running. And ByuN takes the lead. So ByuN, he is ahead. And he may even just settle for containing MaxPax. Oh, he might just stim in, yeah. He just trade. True. Might just going off. Massive connections. That's what, 5-6 zealots going down. The Colossus has arrived, but that may not be enough. As there's just so little, there's just so few gateway units here to defend. Takes down the Immortal, more zealots. ByuN can just stim one forward. Still out trading at the same time. Nice run by here by MaxPax, but there are reinforcements at home to defend. And ByuN holds. We'll lose a lot of SCVs though. True. It's 9 SCV kills. 9 SCVs go down. But alas, ByuN still with a greater economy, showing how far ahead he was. MaxPax, he just wants to expand that. Just wants to get a 4th base. So Widowmine gets in position. Ooh. Denies the 4th. Speaking of ByuN getting his own. And again, for the first time this series, like ByuN, he has a good amount of momentum here. This all came down to the opener. It all came down to ByuN being able to just assert himself in the mid game. After the initial successful proxy Marauder. True. ByuN zones away. And again, there's no pressure, to be honest. Like, there's no pressure on ByuN. ByuN, he doesn't have to push in and attack the bases, attack into the 3rd or attack into the 4th base. MaxPax is playing catch-up, is the reality. He's playing catch-up. Now, how does MaxPax recover in this game? Now, there are a couple of ways to do so. We've been seeing MaxPax attempt to go for Zealot run-bys. They've been unsuccessful, but that would be a way, right? Zealot run-bys, Zealot counterattacks, War Prism harass across the map. MaxPax, he's been trying. Back at home, he's getting up to 4 Colossus. Likewise, you can see he's being as active as possible with these Stalkers, trying to catch out a Medevac, a Viking, whatever he can get. Oh, he scouts the 4th base. Whatever he can get. And ByuN is maxed. ByuN is maxed out, is pushing forward. MaxPax, he does have a comparable army size, but the quality just isn't quite there. So at 4 Colossus, very gateway heavy. MaxPax doesn't have the bank to work with either. ByuN pushing in. MaxPax out of position, the base will fall. And you can see just how difficult it is to defend the 4th here, as MaxPax just cannot expand. Yeah, back goes up. Getting 1, getting 2 Colossus. Getting 3, Jesus. Yeah, 3 Colossus going down. There's a 1. 1 Colossus left. And ByuN can just stim forward. Yeah, he can stim and he can win. Breaks through the defensive line. Again, the writing has been on the wall for some time now. MaxPax has been playing his heart out. But again, he just cannot expand. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will fight back. He'll put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN, he does a recovery, does bounce back after a very chaotic start going for the proxy marauder, but again, he was able to get a faster natural, a faster 2-base economy, faster 3-base economy as well. We saw that MaxPax was trying to recover by being greedy, by double expanding, but it also meant that his army was that much weaker, and everything kind of fell on its face when MaxPax got caught in the center of the map, when he lost 9 stalkers. It was brutal for MaxPax to be surrounded, to lose all of his stalkers, to lose the majority of his army, and that meant that defending against the push here was that much more difficult for MaxPax. He just couldn't hold on, couldn't defend. He took too many losses and was stuck on 3 bases. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're now getting into game number 4, and we'll see if ByuN can bring it all the way to the ace match. We'll see if MaxPax can take it here and now. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, as we are loading into Tourmaline, we're loading into the most aggressive map in the map pool. Let's go. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss. We have the Danish Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming, leading the series 2-1 and 1 game away from becoming the WardiTV Monday number 65 champion. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. We go, and welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline again is always the most aggressive map of the map pool. Short rush distance by ground, exposed natural, exposed 3rd base, exposed 4th base. Hyper aggression is favorite here, and we have been seeing non-stop aggression out of ByuN. As we mentioned, this is very common when ByuN is up against players like MaxPax or Hero or Clem. ByuN just ramps up that aggression and he tries to outmaneuver and outpace his opponents, and we'll see if he can do so again here in game number 4. As so far, double gas. Double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC out of ByuN. As MaxPax, he moves out himself. Does move out with his probe scouts. And we'll see what he's able to confirm. He pokes in, pulls away. Once again, he's trying to get eyes on any attempted CC on the low grounds. ByuN, he wants to catch him. Yeah, he wants to try to catch him out. Cheeky moves there. So if you notice what was happening there, is there's a reason why this probe doesn't go past this little area here at the ramp. If he were to, you saw that ByuN had his SCV hidden. His goal was to try to come in from behind and completely wall off, as you're seeing here, and lock the probe in to kill it. MaxPax doesn't want to lose the probe, so he pulls away. He pulls away. He does not confirm what's going on. He fails to scout the gas or the factory or the command center. So MaxPax is in the dark, as ByuN was trying to bait him in. Again, you do have that little back and forth here in the early game of TVP. And ByuN, interesting, is going for an early add-on here. He does go Reaper first. He does go straight for the reactor, straight for the tech lab as well. Opening up Cyclone. Reaper dips in, gets 1 probe. Ooh, but doesn't get away. Nice pick up here by MaxPax. MaxPax opening up Twilight Council, checking ByuN's vision. ByuN, he failed to scout the tech. Adept gets across, and the CC is delayed. So nice delay here by MaxPax, but again, ByuN did open up Cyclone, not Hellion. As that's still a big delay on the CC. Big delay. Oh, and for the first time in a long time, we actually have a proper 1-1-1. Okay. Getting to our 1-1 follow-up. Early tank production. This can be tank into early Viking. If we go for the early Viking, then ByuN, he can just send everything across the map to try to break MaxPax early on. But I believe he's rallying. Yeah, he's going for it. So he's going for it. Again, hyper aggression. We have seen this build rise in popularity from the side of ByuN, Maru, Clem. All the top Terran players have been quite fond of it. As ByuN is rallying. Starport is now done. Here comes the second tank, and again, I'm expecting to see a Viking here. We'll see if he goes to the medevac. Welcome on the Stalker. MaxPax trying to hold his own. Oh, never mind. No Viking or medevac. He's going for the tech lab. Okay. Never mind. Setting up for Banshees. Let's see, ByuN is hoping to catch a Stalker. Tank is set up. Second tank is being actually kept at home. Oh. Okay, we're just using the starport for add-ons. Never mind. So he's not committing. He's not committing. He's pulling back. Now, this is still a really, really heavy tank count early on. We're getting up to 3 tanks early on. Due to the add-on swap, getting into Sim. I have my attention. MaxPax, meanwhile, he went 3 gates? Yeah, 3 gate blink. So it did open up 3 gate blink Stalker. So my apologies, sorry, 4 gate blink. Okay, never mind. Went up to 4 gateways, moves out, getting a couple of SCVs. Nothing major. You can see that MaxPax is expanding, even though he went up to a high gateway count. It looks like MaxPax was expecting hyper aggression. You can see the shield battery, robo, extra gateway. So ByuN did fake MaxPax out. I mean, he faked me out as well. We both assumed that ByuN was going to commit, and he didn't. That means that was a bit of a waste from MaxPax. Ooh, a bit of miscontrol. Oh, losing 2 Stalkers, rallies into the army. Yeah, miscontrol by MaxPax. I don't think that rally was intended. Ooh, and now it's go time. Now it's go time. The observer does confirm. MaxPax is out of position. He's going to try to slow this down. But remember, the rush distance by ground is very short in this map. Ooh, does get a tank. Free tank goes down. Nice pickup. Tanks is trying to get within range of the robo. And they are. They're within range. But the Immortal should pop out. Outside the pylon. Here comes the Immortal. Nice pickup. Mass around. Oh no, the tanks, they get caught on siege and ByuN loses everything. GG gets called. The all-in fails. And MaxPax, he will take the series 3-1. He will be the WardiTV Monday number 65 champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, it was a cheeky move by ByuN going for a later timing. I did like it. I did like that he kind of went for a fake out initially and then did go for a later push instead. But he got scattered. He got scattered. He got spotted. Remember, MaxPax, when it came to the Stalkers coming in from behind, he got a free tank. He got a free tank early on. So he was able to snipe the tank, able to pick off the Marines, able to slow down the push, slow down the all-in. And because of MaxPax's early reaction, he actually already had a shield battery and he already had Immortal production on the way as well. So he just had to buy time for the Immortal, got the full surrounds, and GG. GG, well played. With that, MaxPax, he completely swallowed up the army. Unfortunately, ByuN, he hit pre-stim. If you remember, stim, I think, was still on the way. +1 was still on the way. We had a bunch of upgrades on the horizon. Wasn't quite able to make use of them. And in the end, congratulations here to MaxPax. But a shout out to ByuN, because ByuN, to make it to the finals here is unexpected. Like ByuN, he's usually one that does dabble in the quarterfinals or semifinals. He was able to achieve a big upset earlier by bringing down Clem. Remember, Clem, he went down to ByuN in the semifinals. Clem, who has some of the best PvT in the world, did fall to ByuN. So very impressive play here by ByuN to actually make it to the finals. And again, we saw a very aggressive side from ByuN. Hyper aggression, non-stop, like 1 base all-ins, 2 base all-ins, proxies. Like ByuN, he was barely giving MaxPax any room to breathe. At least was trying to, but MaxPax was keeping up. He was keeping up more often than not and was able to shut ByuN down. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax. Shout out to ByuN as well. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up today's broadcast. As a reminder, this was a replay cast. Once again, we used to cast this event on a weekly basis live, but daylight savings did hit Europe, and now it starts very late. It starts at this hour. It is 11 p.m. here in Australia, and it usually lasts around 4 hours, if not 5 hours. So it ends around like 4 a.m. in the morning, which is not ideal here. It's not ideal here in Australia to cast until 4 a.m. in the morning. So that is why we no longer cast it live. But once daylight savings hits once again, it should go to a much more acceptable time here in Australia, acceptable start time. Then we'll be starting to cast again live. But for now, we are covering this event via replays instead, just as a heads up, just to be transparent, of course. Meanwhile, when it comes to the rest of our schedule, bam, you can see here we have the holidays on the horizon. Happy holidays, everyone. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Again, we have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day all coming up this week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as you can see, we do have some casts regardless. Despite that, we will be having Tuesday and Wednesday off. That is going to be the 23rd and 24th of December. So we'll have Christmas Eve off. Christmas Day, we should be live casting Pegasus Cup. So we do have Pegasus Cup this week on Thursday. And we also do have another broadcast on the 26th on Boxing Day. It's not on the calendar because it's a new event, but we are going to be hosting a show match. We have a Boxing Day show match in StarCraft Evolution. Just as a heads up, this is us, I guess, announcing it here. But I was notified that some players were looking to have a show match, a best of 7. So there's going to be a fun show match over on Friday in StarCraft Evolution. More news to come regarding that show match. Likewise, we have StarCraft Evolution on Saturday and Tuna Cup on Sunday. So we have 2 days off. We have Tuesday and Wednesday off this week, the 23rd and 24th. So again, hope you have a great rest of your week. Hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy the holidays if you do celebrate it, of course. And take care. Take care, everyone. Take care. The StarCraft, of course, continues. There's plenty more StarCraft going on, and if we wanted to, we could cast even more than what we are casting this week, but it's the holidays. We wanted to take it easy. Take it easy, baby. Take it easy. Stick around. We'll be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid who is live at the moment. Usually sort of is live, but I think he's taking the day off here. I think sort of is taking the day off. We have been raiding Trigger quite a bit, so we might raid Trigger. Who else is live? I see Rotterdam is streaming. Strange is streaming. Bratok as well. SW Pro. True. Is Railgun live? The Railgun's been streaming quite a bit recently as well. Otherwise, we'll give it a Trigger. We'll give it a Trigger. Good friend of the channel. Much love. The Osu streamer himself. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, and you'll get a link to our Patreon page. Again, our Patreon does fund our tournaments. It funds, oh, there we go. It does fund our tournaments. It does fund our Tuna Cup, our Sea Duckling Open, and Masters 1 Open as well. It is all funded via Patreon. You can help us grow the tournament and help us reach our next stretch goal. You can see just under the schedule, bottom right, you can see our current goal on Patreon is at 670 USD a month to boost the prize pool even further for the Tuna Cup. We're almost there, almost at that stretch goal. So thank you so much to all of our supporters. Otherwise, you can follow us on the socials. We are live almost on a daily basis. As you can see, we're taking 2 days off this week, so almost live every single day, casting plenty of StarCraft on Twitter. Sorry, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch as well, and we also do posts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. Follow us on the socials if you wish. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping up here for the night, and we'll see you guys in a couple of days with Pegasus Cup on Thursday. That is going to be on Thursday. That is going to be on Boxing Day, right? Just double checking. Sorry, that's going to be on Christmas Day. That's okay. That's going to be on the 25th, Christmas Day. What better way to spend Christmas than to cast some StarCraft, baby? True. So we'll see you guys Christmas Day for some more StarCraft. Otherwise, take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao, baby. Ciao. See you next time. Hasta luego.